Hello and welcome to the channel, and this is the first book review on the channel. Today we're going to look at the Codex Adeptus Astartes Space Marines. This is 8th edition, and I have to say this so far is my favourite codex. It is a beautifully laid out codex, the rules are fantastic, and when you play with this codex it's not like any others. You actually feel like you are a commander. And the rules writing in this edition has been absolutely fantastic. The codexes are back, it's official, and what a way to start with the Space Marines. Now, there are some new units in here. Every single unit I like in its unique way. There is no unit I will discriminate with. I love every unit in its unique abilities. Some are more powerful than others, that's fair enough. But with this rulebook, or codex, this will bring a lot more diversity to the army. So with the introduction of Primaris Marines, and within there's like the Reavers I think as well, the new scout units, and the repulsor tank. It's all in this codex, and I'm very excited to show you what is inside this book. So I hope you stay tuned. Let's get on with it. Okay, first impressions. Beautiful cover, beautiful book. That's the back cover there, you can see there. I have to say, this is the biggest codex that Games Workshop have ever produced, I believe. It is massive, and if you hold it up against the main rulebook, it's actually almost bigger than the rulebook. So it's pretty impressive. But the front cover is bold. The illustration is really well done. I love the front cover. Best looking codex in my opinion. Just really pumped up about this codex. It's fantastic they're doing codexes again. So the indexes were basically a stopgap for other factions whilst they develop new codexes, because obviously they had to rewrite the whole rule system. But what are we waiting for? Let's look inside the rulebook. Black and white picture there. The inside cover, it's awesome, and then you've got the actual Space Marines Angels of Death icon. Look at that. There we go. Contents. Then this book, there is 206 pages. That's over 200 pages. That's the first codex to do that. And it's absolutely fantastic. And yeah, it gives you all the information there. Introduction, tells you the introduction of what this faction is all about, and then you've got the colour version of the back, the front cover. So front inside cover of this book. So look at that, new Primaris Marines Mark 10. We'll talk about them in a few minutes. The Emperor's finest. Yeah, the Space Marines are renowned for the most finest warriors in the galaxy. So yeah, there you go, ordered by the Emperor. The Adeptus Astartes. The difference between the Legionis Astartes is that that's in 30k when the Space Marines are in legions, when there's many thousands in a legion, whereas Adeptus Astartes are the ones that are divided into chapters. So we're in the 41st millennium, and there you go. Codex Astartes, these are all the legions there. 2 of them are unrecorded, no info about them. Who knows what happens to those 2 legions. Making of a Space Marine gives you the lore about how to make a Space Marine, and there's an extra bit about Primaris Marines as well. So there you go, Primaris Origins. Chapter organisation. This is what I love. I love the organisation and the lore behind it. The lore has changed a little bit. The company organisation has moved forward a little bit, but we're going to talk about that. We go over the page. Codex Heraldry. So pretty much the same, except obviously you got the Primaris Marines with the introduction of new infantry. The primary weapon being the bolt rifle for the intercessors. And now you can go squads beyond 10 in a company, which is quite interesting. And then you've got the heraldry markings. So now you've got a regular Space Marine brother, then you've got a sergeant, company veteran, and then you've got a veteran sergeant. Now this is new, the lieutenants are now a proper unit within the company. So you have a captain and then you have 2 lieutenants in a company. Vehicle markings pretty much the same as it was, nothing much has changed. There you go. The Imperialist Dominatus. It's all changed because of the big gathering storm that has happened. Worlds have been wiped out and big battles have happened, and the story has progressed. The Brotherhood at War. So it gives you a chronicle of all the major conflicts of the Adeptus Astartes. Brotherhood at War. So sums up the Space Marines. The Indomitus Crusade. This is the latest part of the story, and of course Robute Guilliman, Primarch of the Ultramarines. He is the Battle King of Macragge, Lord Commander of the Imperium, and Regent of Ultramar. That's his title. He is my favourite character. He's awesome. I'm so glad that he is back. Superb. There you go, Seeds of Hope. So he ordered the construction of the new Primaris Marines, as well as Belisarius Kroll. People say, oh, the Primaris Marines go against the Codex Astartes. Well, he's the founder of the Codex Astartes, and he's the one that interprets it perfectly by the will and the orders of the Emperor. In these desperate times, we need reinforcements. So there you go. Ultramarines. This is the faction I collect. This is my favourite chapter. New Primaris Marines, the Ultramarines, 3rd and it looks like 4th company there. Ultramar, there you go. It's the main world of the Ultramarines, Macragge. As we turn over the page, the Ultramarines 2nd Company. This is what I plan to do for my collection. So the lore has changed slightly. We're going to take a little bit of detail, have a quick look as to how it's all changed. Now, a new captain, Cater Sikiris, is not here. Apparently he's gone into the warp. Who knows what has happened to him? Well, that's the story. Then you've got Chapter Ancient, or Company Ancient, Company Champion, Apothecary, and the regular Space Marines. Now these are separate units now, which gives you more flexibility in the heat of battle. Furthermore, you have 2 lieutenants, 1 Space Marine Lieutenant and 1 Primaris Space Marine Lieutenant, accompanied by a chaplain. The captain is Captain Akiran. Forgive me if I pronounced that wrong, but he is the new captain of the Ultramarines 2nd Company, the Guardians of the Temple. So, you have the 10-man squad, tactical squad, another 10-man tactical squad, a 5-man unit of Primaris Marines, and a 5-man unit of Primaris Marines, another tactical squad, and another tactical squad. Now these are called battle line rather than tactical squads. Well, you can still call them tactical squads, but the iconography is called battle line, which is really good. I'm fine with that change, there's no problem. And you got the assault marines, which are in. They're called close support now. And then you've got what's this now? Oh yes, you got the Primaris Marines equipped with the new Hellblasters, or Plasma Annihilators, which is really cool. 11th squad is another Intercessor squad, Primaris Marines, Dreadnought, Ironclad Dreadnought, and then you've got the new Avengers. Are they Avengers? Inceptors, beg your pardon. Inceptor squad. Well, I've still got to learn all these new names. And then you've got another assault squad. Now, you may have noticed there's actually 12 squads. So, the lore is that you have the main cores within the chapter. You've got, I think you've got like 5 battle companies. And you've got 5 reserve companies, and what reserve companies do is that they fill in the gaps for the main companies. So for example, these assault squads here, or this assault squad, was from the reserve company, which is 8th company, and they've been designated to the 2nd company. That's how it works, and the law is fine. You can still do the Spearhead of Sikaris, because you have 2 regular assault marines of 10, but then you've got your reserve companies which have 2 assault squads, so you can do that. And you've got remnants of the 1st as well, like Terminators and Vanguard, so you can still do that formation. So that was back in the Planetary Invasion book, which inspired me to do these iconographies on my Ultramarines. Now I've noticed there's a little tiny mistake. There is a mistake. He's not supposed to carry a melter gun. In the entry, assault marines, or this type of assault marines, cannot take melter guns, but yet there's a picture of a melter gun. Don't know why that happened, but that's the way it is. So there you go, that's the layout of the Ultramarines company, which is hopefully what I plan to do. And then you've got the Chronicles of Ultramar, gives you the history of the Ultramarines, which is cool. Lots of lore and new founding chapters, successor chapters, Flamentors, Genesis chapter, Black Consuls, Eagle Warriors, Nova Marines, Silver Skulls, Scythes of the Emperor, Peritors of Orsis. And then you got other unique chapters. White Scars. White Scars are superb. I love the White Scars. And there's their heraldry and markings, which is cool. And then you've got the successor chapters of the White Scars, it looks like. So it looks like you've got Stormlords, Destroyers, Storm Reapers, and Solar Hawks. Very cool. The Imperial Fists. They are a siege specialist chapter. They're still good in this codex, in my opinion, especially in siege warfare. That's their main strength. You've got the new Primaris Marine as well. What they try and do is they try and introduce a new Primaris Marine. It's kind of in your face a little bit because it's in every page virtually, but it doesn't hinder me whatsoever. I mean, Primaris Marines are awesome. I love them. Glorious History gives you the history of the Imperial Fists, and then successor chapters you got the Hammers of Dawn and Invaders. That's cool. Crimson Fists, another famous chapter, led by the chapter master Petrio Cantor. And then you got the Black Templars. These are not really divided into chapters as such, but there are thousands of these Space Marines all throughout the galaxy doing a huge crusade. So, it's cool. And they have Primaris Marines as well. But another thing that's unique to the Black Templars is no librarians. They don't have them. And gives you the organisation of the Black Templars. They're unique to chapter organisation. Then you've got the Salamanders, the most friendly of chapters. The Salamanders, they'll get on well with other human beings apparently. That's the lore behind them. Salamander organisation is slightly different, which is cool. Legends of Neuroton. Raven Guard. Now Raven Guard would be pleased because Raven Guard in the Horus Heresy took an absolute battering. But with the new Primaris Marines as reinforcements, they are stopgap. They fill in the gaps. Raven Guard will be very pleased, and obviously Shrike is now a chapter master. He's been promoted to chapter master, which is really cool. And then you've got successor chapters. You've got the Revealers, Rift Stalkers, Black Guard, and Knights of the Raven. Very interesting. And then you've got the Iron Hands, known for their mechanical, how do you call it, resistance, so to speak. The flesh is weak, so forth. They rely upon cybernetics, but they are tougher than normal Space Marines with their enhanced biomechanics. You've got the Iron Warriors there. Well, sorry, Iron Warriors, that's Chaos. Iron Hands. And then you got Wars of Iron. So it looks like successor chapters here. They do. So it's Brazen Claws, which is interesting. Sons of Medusa. And then you got Red Talons, and then you got Iron Lords. Nice colour schemes. It's very nice. Unknown Foundings. So you've got Mentors, Black Dragons, Fire Lords, Exorcists. Blood Ravens are in the Codex. How cool is that? That is the first time that Blood Ravens are officially in a Codex with an illustration. I think that's the. I think there may have been a picture in 4th edition, as far as memories goes, but a proper illustration of Blood Ravens. Very interesting. And Death Sires as well. Death Spectres, I think they're called. Chapter. And then as a taste of things to come, you got the Death Guard coming out, and over there apparently is Mortarion, and Gulliman has seen it. One thing's for sure, the battle will stink. They rot. Now, major characters. So you've got commanders, you've got librarians, gives you the lore and background for them. Chaplains, apothecaries, chapter command, company command, battle line squads. That's what it's called, battle line. So tactical squads, that kind of thing. So this here would be the intercessor squads with the Primaris Marines. And then you've got close support squads. So you've got all these different new units here. Reaver squads, Inceptor squads, close support. This is where the assault squads come in. Close support and Centurion Devastators. Close support squads, bikes, land speeders, they're still in. Fire support squads, so you got like, instead of Devastator, or you can still call them Devastators, but they're officially known as fire support squads. And new weaponry and tactics. So you got Devastator squads, Centurion Devastators, veteran squads, so you got Stern Guard veterans. And then you've got Terminators, Dreadnoughts, and then you've got the new Dreadnought here, the Redemptor Dreadnoughts. Big, bold, amazing. Scout squads are still in. They're really good now. They do sneak attacks and that kind of thing. It's all coming up in the old Tactica. Tech Marines, they do have now have a really good purpose on the battlefield. I took a Tech Marine, it was very good. It was a good unit to have. Transport vehicles, so you got still got the basic Rhino, and then you've got the new Repulsor transport, and that is actually a dedicated transport, not heavy support. So amazing. Battle tanks, so you've got Hunter, Stalker, Vindicator, Whirlwind, and Predator. Battle tanks are good. Then you've got the Land Raiders, the good old Land Raider, one of my favourite tanks. Every unit in its unique way has improved. So in this codex, compared to other editions, gunships, and then you've got Stormhawk Interceptors, Storm Talon gunships. Then you've got the main characters. Reboot Gilliman is here. He's big, he's bad, he's bold. Well, he's not bad, he's cool. He's a good guy. I like him. Then you got Marnius Calgar. He's a cool character. I love all the characters in this codex. Absolutely superb. Chief Librarian Tigerius. And you got Chaplain Cassius. The Ultramarines. Captain Sicyrus. There it is, lost in the warp. And then Marnius Calgar mourns for his lost brother. The fate of Cato is unknown. Sergeant Tellium. He's a good commander for the scouts. Sergeant Kronos. Coruscant Khan. He's cool. There's a White Scars. Vulcan Hastan. One of the commanders of the Salamanders. Kavian Shrike, Chapter Master. Captain Lysander of the Imperial Fists. Pedrio Cantor of the Crimson Fists. High Marshal Helbrecht. Chaplain Grimoldus. Emperor's Champion, Crusader Squads. And then we're going to showcase pictures. So, Champions of Humanity. These are some of the new models. They look absolutely beautiful to look at. You cannot fault Games Workshop sculpting in this period. I mean, let's look at that. It's absolutely incredible. I was really excited when these new units come out. I knew they were going to do Intercessor Squads in separate boxes, because with the starter box you couldn't really do many poses, whereas now you can, which is really exciting. And there's more weaponry as well, which is excellent. We've got a showcase here, so you've got the Ultramarines Intercessors, variety of rifles, and you've got the Ultramarines Inceptor with Plasma Exterminators. Really cool. Ultramarines Aggressor Squads, that's a new unit. They are very handy. Talk about them later. Ultramarines Reavers with bolt carbines. Then you got the Ultramarines Hellblasters with heavy plasma incinerators. Heavy plasma incinerators. Ultramarines Sergeant. So you still got the assault squads, and then you got the Devastator squads, and of course you still got the tactical squads. They still have their use. I still use them. There's no problems at all. They have their strengths and weaknesses. Likewise with the new Primaris Marines as well. We'll talk about that a bit later on. The new Repulsor tank. I think there's going to be a ton of magnetising options there, I reckon. And then you got the Ultramarines Redemptor Dreadnought. And you've got loads of showcases with these heavy tanks. White Scars. With the Imperial Fists. Crimson Fists. You've got Black Templars. Salamanders. You've got the Raven Guard. Then you've got the Iron Hands. This is a regular, just a small detachment force. And then you've got the Strike Force Musters. So this would be your average Space Marine army. I reckon this here would be about a good 3,000 points, I reckon, with that amount, because Space Marines have got a lot more expensive, which is a good one. Which is a good, I think, because it's more fluffy and lore based, which is good. I'm for that. That's perfectly fine, because in 7th edition, especially the Skyhammer Annihilation Force, you had a ton of Marines. Often the Space Marines would outnumber like Orcs or Imperial Guard. So, you know, especially with free transports when you get formations. But formations are gone, but technically not, because stratagems replace formations, which is really cool, in my opinion. Defenders of Mankind. There he is, the founder of the Codex, Robert Gellerman. He's here. And then you get all the standard war gear for Space Marines, and lightning claws and that kind of thing, and bolt guns, you name it, regular weaponry. Alright, okay, the first unit we're going to look at is Chapter Master and Warden Marnius Calgar. Okay, Marnius Calgar is movement 5, weapon skill 2+, BS 2+, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 7, he's got 7 wounds, 5 attacks, leadership 9, save 2+. Gauntlets of Ultramar, shooting. So rapid fire 2, so now he gets 4 shots as opposed to he used to have 2. Strength 4, AP -1, damage 2. It's a pretty cool weapon. I like it. Gauntlets of Ultramar, they're basically a pair of power fists. You may have noticed it's not -1 to hit, so it's 2s to hit. Melee, type melee, strength ×2, AP -3, D3 damage. And he's got a relic blade as a backup weapon. May not use it, but if you want to, I'll use a relic blade against light infantry. Melee, strength +2, AP -3, D3. But you may as well use the Gauntlets of Ultramar because it's exactly the same weapon stats. Because if you have 2 power fists, you get +1 attack. I think it may be included, but leave a comment below if I got that wrong. Okay, they should know no fear. Armour of Antilocus. Minus Calgar has a 4+ invulnerable save. In addition, all damage suffered by Minus Calgar is halved, rounding up. So, for example, you could fight a las cannon, which does d6 mortal wounds, and your opponent rolls a 6. Minus Calgar just absorbs it, and it only takes 3. That's pretty cool. I like that. Chapter Master. You can reroll fail to hit rolls for friendly Ultramarines units within 6 of Minus Calgar. Absolutely brilliant, brilliant special rule for that Chapter Master. It's excellent. Rerolls to hit, it's fantastic. Master Tactician. If your army is Battleforged, you receive an additional 2 command points if Minus Calgar is your warlord. That is another brilliant special rule. Stratagems now are very, very key to winning battles, in my opinion. Stratagems are very important. I say this again, know your stratagems and learn them, and pay close attention to what your opponent is doing. And it's really, really clever what Games Workshop are doing. That's awesome. Teleport Strike, so basically he can teleport onto the battlefield. So, Teleport Strike. During deployment, you can set up Minus Calgar in a teleportorium chamber instead of placing him on the battlefield. At the end of any of your movement phases, Minus Calgar can teleport into battle. Set him up anywhere on the battlefield so that is more than 9 away from the enemy models. So basically he just deep strikes onto the battlefield. Just appears within 9 inches of the enemy. It's good. Okay. Next unit, you've got Chief Librarian Tigurius. Minus Calgar is 10 power level, and the points cost is, let's find out for you people. Minus Calgar. Minus Calgar is 200 points. Okay, pretty expensive. But I think it was cheaper in this edition. Maybe you have to pay for Power Fists. I think so. So, Minus Calgar is a single model armed with Gauntlets of Ultramar, a relic blade. So, I think that's all included. Yeah. I think that's all included there. And minus, yeah, 10 power level, 200 points. Cool. Very cool. Very hard Chapter Master. Chief Librarian Tigurius, power level of 7. And he costs... where are you now? Where are you now? Chief Librarian Tigurius, 130 points. That's cool. Okay, movement 6, weapon skill 3+, BS 3+, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 4, attacks 3, leadership 9, save 3+. Chief Librarian Tigurius is a single model with a Rod of Tigurius, bolt pistol, frag grenades, crack grenades. Okay, pretty standard. Bolt pistol, Rod of Tigurius is melee, strength +3, becomes strength 7, AP -1, D3 damage. Pretty cool. Frag grenade and crack grenade. Okay, special rules, they show no fear. Basically a reroll failed morale test. Hood of Hellfire. You can add 1 to deny the witch tests. You take a Chief Librarian Tigurius against enemy psychers within 12. In addition, you can reroll failed psychic tests taken for Chief Librarian Tigurius. That's good. That's really cool. Master Prescience. At the start of your opponent's shooting phase, select an Ultramarines unit within 6 of Tigurius. Until the end of the phase, your opponent must subtract 1 from hit rolls that target that unit. Oh wow. So at the start of your opponent's shooting phase, so even if Tigurius is within 6 inches, select an Ultramarines unit. So it's 1 Ultramarines unit gets that bonus, which is nice. Psyker. Chief Librarian Tigurius can attempt to manifest 2 psychic powers in each friendly psychic phase and attempt to deny 2 psychic powers in each enemy psychic phase. He knows the Smite power and 3 psychic powers from the Librarian's discipline. He knows 3. That's fantastic. Imperium. Adeptus Astartes Ultra. Okay, So that's Chief Librarian Tigurius. Very cool librarian. I like him. Now let's look at Chaplain Cassius. Chaplain Cassius is power level 5 and he costs 98 points. 98 points. He's equipped with the Infernus and Crozius Arcanum frag and crack grenades. One of the models can include in your army. Okay. Infernus, when attacking with this weapon, choose one or both profiles below. If you choose both, subtract 1 from hit rolls to hit. So it's basically like a combi weapon. So Flamer is Assault D6, Strength 4, AP-1 damage when this weapon automatically hits. Mastercrafted Bolt Gun, so does 2 damage instead of 1. Range 24. Crozius Arcanum is Strength +1, AP -1, 2 damage. Frag and Crack Grenade. Special rules. They should know fear. Rosarius, 4+ invulnerable save. Litanies of Hate. You can re-roll failed hit rolls in the fight phase are in 6 of Chaplain Cassius. It's basically very similar to standard Chaplain. Spiritual Leader. All friendly Ultramarines units with 6 of Chaplain Cassius in the morale phase can use his leadership instead of their own. In the morale phase. That's cool. Inspired Retribution. Roll a dice each time a friendly Ultramarines model within 6 of Chaplain Cassius is slain in the fight subphase. On a roll of 6, that unit that made that attack suffers a mortal wound after it has finished making its attacks. Okay. It's different. It's cool. Cool character. Right, so I like him. Not bad. Not bad Chaplain. May not be the most powerful character, but he is cool. Right. Captain Sicyrus is power level of 7. And Captain Catus Sicyrus costs 132 points. Okay, movement 6, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 2+, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 5, attacks 4, leadership 9, save 2+. Okay, equipped with a plasma pistol, frag and crack grenades. So you can fire a plasma pistol at standard and supercharge. Strength 7, AP -3 to 1 damage, or supercharge, strength 8, AP -3, 2 damage. And roll a 1, the bearer is slain, so you've got to be very careful. If you roll a 1, you need those stratagem points on standby. Tessalarian Tempest Blade is melee and is strength user. Okay, it's only strength 4, this is where it gets nasty. AP -3, D3 damage. Any wound rolls of a 6 made with this weapon cause D3 mortal wounds instead of normal damage. Ouch. That is brutal. Can't save mortal wounds. That's horrific. Nasty weapon. Frag grenade and crack grenades. You know the stats for that. And they show no fear. Iron Halo, 4+ vulnerable save. That's cool. Rights of battle. You may reroll 1s to hit. It's very cool. Battle Forged Heroes for any Ultramarines. 6. Always fight first. Oh, Battle Forged Heroes is cool. Friendly Ultramarines tactical squads within 6 of Cato Sicyrus can always fight first in the fight subphase, even if they didn't charge. That's amazing for tactical squads. If the enemy has units that have charged or have a similar ability, then alternate choosing units to fight with, starting with the player whose turn is taking place. That's a brilliant ability, actually. So this is tactical squads, so you can put like 3 tactical squads near Sicyrus and they get to strike first. That's cool. Nice. It's not expensive as well. Sergeant Kronos, power level of +2, plus your vehicle. It's power level as well. Sergeant Kronos. Kronos is 35 points. 35 points. He's equipped with a bolt pistol, servo arm, frag and crack grenade. Okay, let's read the rules out for Tank Commander. So Tank Commander Sergeant Kronos always begins the game commanding the vehicle, see above. Whilst commanding the vehicle, use the vehicle's normal profile, weapons and abilities, keywords and characteristics, with the exception of its ballistic skill. Use this Sergeant Kronos ballistic skill of +2+ when firing from the vehicle instead. If Sergeant Kronos is commanding the vehicle at the start of your turn, he can restore 1 lost wound he has suffered. Okay, pretty cool ability. It's a bit like it will not die special rule from the old edition. Okay, if Sergeant Kronos' vehicle has reduced to 0 wounds, set him up wound 3 before removing the vehicle from the battlefield. He is treated as a passenger disembarking from a destroyed transport, assuming he survives. Sergeant Kronos then uses the infantry profile above and the keywords below. He is equipped with a bolt pistol, servo arm, frag and crack grenades. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so he can actually get out without, I think the old rules were on a 3+ he'll get out, but now it's just guaranteed. But if he blows up, the vehicle blows up on a roll of a 1, he suffers a mortal wound. But he's got 4 wounds, so it's not going to kill him outright. Sergeant Telion. Sergeant Telion is movement 7, slightly faster because he is a scout. Weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 2+, strength, toughness 4, wounds 4, attacks 2, leadership 8, save 4+. Sergeant Telion is armed with a single model armed with the Quietus, a bolt pistol, frag and crack grenades. Only one of this model will be included in your army. Fair enough. And Sergeant Telion costs 75 points. Okay. Infiltrator. When you set up Sergeant Telion during deployment, he can set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 from the enemy deployment zone. It's nice, so it gives a bit of ambush and tactical flexibility. Camo Cloak. You may add 2 to your saving throws made for Sergeant Telion when he receives the benefits of cover instead of 1. Voice of Experience. In each of your shooting phases you can add 1 to all hit rolls made for a single friendly Ultramarine scout within 3 of Sergeant Telion. Which is nice. A bit similar to the old rules, nothing much major has changed. The Quietus, with the unique weapon, read that out, range 36, heavy 2, strength 4, AP -1, D3 damage. And also it's a sniper, it gives you a special rule. With this weapon you may target a character even if it's not the closest enemy unit. It's very cool, it's very good at taking out characters. Then you've got, for the Imperial Fists, you've got Captain Lysander. Captain Lysander has movement 5, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 2+, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 6, attacks 4, leadership 9, save 2+. Captain Lysander is a single model armed with a Fist of Dawn. Only one of this model may be included in your army. It has all the similar rules to the Captain, except for Icon of Obstinacy. Add 1 to the leadership of all friendly Imperial Fists models in 6 of Captain Lysander. It's pretty cool. Cool ability. He has a 3+ invulnerable save because he has an Iron Halo and Storm Shield. And the Fist of Dawn is melee, strength +6, AP -3, 3 damage. It's brutal, and it's not unwieldy, so he's hitting on 2s. Brutal weapon. And Captain Lysander costs... Captain Lysander is 150 points. He's getting a little bit cheaper, actually. It's pretty cool. Okay, Pedro Cantor of the Crimson Fists. Power rating of 9, which is interesting. It's more power rating than Captain Lysander, probably because he's a chapter master. But he's got a 2+ save as well. He's got Artificer armor. Very nice. And Pedro Cantor costs... he costs 170 points. So he's a bit more expensive than Captain Lysander. He has a movement of 6. Weapon skill 2+, BS 2+, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 6, attacks 4, leadership 9, save 2+. Dawn's Arrow, which is a unique weapon. So Pedro Cantor is armed with a single model with the Dawn's Arrow, Power Fist, Frag and Crack Grenades, range 24, Strength 4, AP -1, Damage 1. It's Assault 4, so it's 4 shots. So you can fire and advance on the move at -1 ballistic skill. Cool. Power Fist. Strength ×2, AP -3, D3 damage. So it is subject to unwieldiness, which is -1 to hit in close combat. Frag and Crack Grenades. Special rules, they show no fear. Chapter Master, you may re-roll any fail to hit rolls. Crimson Fists, within 6 of Pedro Cantor. Nice ability. Oath of Rayan. All friendly Crimson Fist models add 1 to their attack's characteristic, whilst they're within 6 of Pedro Cantor. That's an excellent ability. All friendly Crimson Fists models, not units, bear that in mind, add 1 to their attacks. Iron Halo. Pedro Cantor has a 4+ invulnerable save. Very good. Okay. High Marshal Helbrecht has a power rating of 9, and he costs 170 points. High Marshal Helbrecht is movement 6, 2+, 2+, strength, toughness 4, movement 6, attacks 4, leadership 9, save 2+. High Marshal Helbrecht is a single model armed with a Sword of the High Marshals, a Combi Melter, Frag and Crack Grenades. Combi Melter, when attacking with this weapon, so it's a bit like a melter, very similar to a flamer. Melter gun, it's a pretty cool weapon now, it's really nice. Sword of the High Marshals, melee, strength +1, AP -3, D3 damage. High Marshal Helbrecht can make D3 additional attacks with this weapon if he has charge in this turn, so that could potentially increase his attacks to 7. It's a very cool ability, and with D3 points of damage, that's pretty nasty actually. So he's got the rules: Station Out of Fear, Chapter Master, Crusade of Wrath, or Wrath. All friendly Black Templars models add 1 to their strength characteristic whilst they are within 6 of High Marshal Helbrecht. So Space Marines on average will become strength 5. Iron Halo, High Marshal Helbrecht has a 4+ invulnerable save. The Emperor's Champion. The Emperor's Champion, he costs 75 points. Movement 6, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 4, attacks 4, leadership 8, save 2+. He's equipped with the Black Sword. The Black Sword is strength +2, AP -3, D3 damage. You can reroll fail to wound rolls when attacking with this weapon if the target is a character or a monster. So that's pretty cool. He's got They Shall Know No Fear. Sigismund's Honor. Add 1 to the Emperor's Champion's strength and attacks characteristics whilst within 1 of any enemy characters. That's cool. Slayer of Champions. You can re-roll any failed to hit rolls made with this model in the fight phase when attacking enemy characters. Nasty. So he's a bit of a challenger against other characters. And he's got the Armour of Faith. So he's got a 4+ invulnerable save. Nice. Very cool. Chaplain Grimaldus. How many points is he? Chaplain Grimaldus is 120 points. Weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 3+, all the rules for a chaplain basically. He's got Crazy Arconium, nothing much different. Spiritual Leader. Unmatched Zeal. This is the unique special rule for him. Unmatched Zeal. If you roll a hit roll of 6, fight phase, for a friendly Black Templars unit within 6 of Chaplain Grimaldus, you can immediately make 1 additional attack with that model. These bonus attacks do not themselves generate further attacks. Cool ability. Pretty brutal. And then you've got Cenobite Servitors. So Cenobite Servitors. Are they a named character? Don't think they are, actually. Maybe that's part of the unit. Power level 1. I just wanted to point out one thing. I wish they had a points cost on the top. I don't know why they didn't do that, which is a bit of a shame in my opinion. And also a little blueprint of what the unit looks like. But other than that, the layout is really nice. I do like it. It's nicely laid out. The rules are very clear. It's absolutely superb. Now let's just find out where he is, this unit. Okay, Cinnablight Servitors are 3 points per model and 2 points for they will do not include war gear. Oh, okay, fair enough. Cinnablight Servitors, movement 5, so a bit slow, because they're obviously cybernetics, humanoids. Weapon skill 2+, weapon skill 5+, ballistic skill 5+, strength 3, toughness 3, wounds 1, attacks 1, leadership 6, save 4+. Mind whipped. These servitors improve their weapon skill to 4+, and their leadership is to 9. They are within 6 of Chaplain Grimoldus. Relic of Hesiarch. Friendly Black Templars units automatically pass morale tests when they're within 12. That's a very cool ability for morale. Nice. So go through there, and then you've got Kasaro Khan. Kasaro Khan is 107 points. Kasaro Khan is a single model armed with the Moonfang. Moonfang, a bolt pistol, frag and crack grenades. Only one of this model may be included in your army. Which is nice. Moonfang, let's look at the unique weapon for him. It's strength, user, AP -3, D3 damage. This weapon has strength ×2 if the target is a character. So that's, whoa, that's strength 8 against a character. So he's a character killer. Ouch. Oh, another thing I've noticed, if I just go back a few pages, Marnius Kelgar doesn't have the ability to have Artificer armor anymore. Doesn't have that unique slot. So that's gone. Okay. Special rules. Nation know no fear, rights of battle for the Khan. Add 1 to the strength of friendly white scars units within 6 of Kasaro Khan when they attack in the fight phase if they charge that turn. This is pretty good because white scars are renowned for that. Let's look at Vulcan Hastan. Vulcan Hastan, one model is 154 points. Weapon skill 2+, strength, ballistic skill 2+, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 5. He's only got 5 wounds. Attacks 4, leadership 9, save 2+. The unique weapons he's got: Gauntlet of the Forge is range 8, assault D6, strength 5, AP -1, damage 1. This weapon automatically hits the target, so it's a bit like a flamer. Spear of Vulcan is strength +2, AP -2, D3 damage. Nasty. Nation know no fear, rights of battle, Kafshe's Mantle. Vulcan Hastan has a 3+ invulnerable save. Forge Father. You can re-roll failed to hit and to wound rolls for friendly salamander models within 6 of Vulcan Hastan that are firing with melter or flame weapons. For the purpose of this ability, a melter weapon is any weapon profile whose name includes the word melter, etc. Melter gun, melter, etc. And a flame weapon. If any weapon profile whose name includes the word flame, example flamer, heavy flamer, flamestorm cannon, flamestorm gauntlet. Vulcan Hastan's Gauntlet of the Forge is also a flame weapon. So I think that's included, the special rule. That's a cool ability, that is. They're renowned for their master-crafted weaponry. Kavian Strike, or Shrike. Movement 12, he's very fast because of the jump pack. Weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 2+, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 5, attacks 5, leadership 9. He's got more attacks actually than Falcon Hastan. It's interesting. Leadership 9, save 3+. It's probably because he's got twin lightning claws. His unique weapons are Raven's Talons. His strength user AP -3 as opposed to AP -2. D3 damage. That's nasty. He's cool. You can reroll failed to wound rolls for this weapon. Similar rules to old lightning claws. Mission and a Fear. Chapter Master. Winged Deliverance. You can reroll failed charge rolls for friendly Raven Guard jump pack units within 6 of Kavian Strike. Nice. Jump pack assault during deployment. So pretty much the same as regular jump packs, and Kavian Strike has a 4+ invulnerable save. Nice. Okay, so then we go on to the regular units. The Captain in Terminator armor. Captain has movement of 5 because in Terminator armor is a bit slow. Weapon skill 2+, but his skill 2+ is fantastic. It's good. Strength, toughness 4, wounds 6. It's got a lot of wounds. Attacks 4, leadership 9, save 2+. Okay, Storm Bolter. He has. These are wrist-mounted grenade launcher. Okay, so that's assault D3, strength 4, AP 1. Wrist-mounted grenade launcher. Hold on. I think the opponent. That's odd. I think if it says AP of 1, I think the opponent gets +1 save to their armor save. It must be. I think that's the case. That's interesting. So it's not -1, it's not 0, but it's 1. If it's 1, it must be the opponent gets a +1 to their armor save to a maximum of 2+. So for example, an Imperial Guard being shot at this weapon, instead of a 5+ flak armor save, it looks like he's got a 4+ save. How weird. Okay. So maybe it's just a lighter version. Yeah. Okay. Chain Fist is strength ×2, AP -4, damage 2. When attacking with this weapon, you may subtract from 1 from the hit roll. Okay. A bit like Unwieldy. Power Sword, strength user AP -3, 1 damage. Relic Blade, as we've been through Arnis Calgar. He's got those weapons as well. Any unique rules? No, not particularly, but we'll read them out anyway. Edition and a Fear, Iron Halo, Storm Shield, which is a 3+ invulnerable save, Rites of Battle, and then Arnis Calgar's got a table striker just like the Captain. And a Captain with no weapons upgrades. A Space Marine Captain is 105 points for Terminator. Captain. But that's not including upgrades, so you add points to the upgrades. Captain in Cataphracti armor. So it's all the same rules, except he's got a combi bolter, rapid fire, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. Cataphracti armor and Iron Halo. So the Cataphracti armor is really slow, movement of 4. It's very slow, but it represents it's got very good armor protection. So instead of a 4+ invulnerable save, he's got a 3+ invulnerable save. Then you've got the regular Space Marine Captain. I find out how much it costs actually. Cataphracti, 126 points. So you're paying more points for a slower Terminator, but he's better protected. Captain, movement 6, all the standard weapons. Master crafted bolt gun, So captains have master crafted weapons now as a sub weapon. Jump pack assault, if you equips with jump pack, and a captain is 74 points, but that's not including upgrades. You have to pay extra points for upgrades. And weapons. Captain on a bike. Captain on a bike costs 98 points. Is a movement 14. Mastercraft bolt gun, not much the same. He can turbo boost. Let's look at the rules for turbo boost. When this model advances, add 6 to its movement characteristics of the movement phase instead of rolling a dice. Fair enough. It represents them travelling fast. And then you got the new edition, Primaris Captain. Primaris Captain is pretty much the same as the regular Space Marine, except he's got 1 extra wound, and he's got Mastercrafted Bolt Rifle or Mastercrafted Stalker Bolt Rifle. And the Mastercrafted Auto Bolt Rifle is range 24, assault 2, strength 4, AP 0, damage 2. So instead of 1, does 2. Mastercrafted Stalker Bolt Rifle, range 36, heavy 1, strength 4, AP -2, 2 damage. Nice. And Primaris Captain costs 87 points, not including upgrades. Okay. Captain in Gravius armor, pretty much the same, except he's got +1 toughness and a wound of 6. He has got Bolt Storm Gauntlet for shooting, range 12, pistol 3, so it's really good for close combat. So he can shoot in the shooting phase whilst he's in close combat. So it's pistol 3, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. And pretty much the same, it's basically like a power fist for his primary attack weapon. Mastercrafted Power Sword does 2 damage as instead of 1. Do you know what's missing here? You cannot have a chaplain on a bike, and you cannot have a librarian on a bike. Different. Very different. So, librarian has, let's check the points cost for a librarian. He costs 93 points. 93 points for a regular librarian, and basically very similar to Tigerius. He can have a Force Axe, which is pretty cool actually. Strength +1, AP -2, D3 damage. Force Stave is Strength +2, AP -1, D3. Force Sword, Strength Fuse, AP -3, D3. Okay. Mission No Fear, Psychic Hood, you can add 1 to deny the witch tests. When you take this model against an enemy psyker within 12. Okay, add 1. It's nice. Good against psykers. If he's equipped with a jump pack, you can do jump pack assault. Psyker. This model can attempt to manifest 2 psychic powers for each of these psychic days and attempt to deny one psychic power. So Tigerius can deny 2, whereas a regular librarian can deny 1 in each of the enemy psychic phases. It knows the smite power and 2 psychic powers for the librarian's discipline. So instead of 3 for Tigerius, a regular librarian knows 2. Primaris librarian, pretty much the same as the regular librarian. It's just got better armor protection as we went through the rules for the captain. Librarian in Terminator armor. It's the same again, except he's in Terminator armor, which is fine. Chaplain. So a regular chaplain. Pretty much the same as Cassius, except for the unique rule that Cassius has. So chaplain in Terminator armor, you can still have that, but no chaplain on the bike anymore, looks like. So you've got a regular chaplain here, and then you've got a Primaris chaplain. Tech Marine. Let's have a look at the rules for Tech Marine. So, weapon movement of 6, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 2+, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 4, attacks 3, good stat of attacks actually, leadership 8, save 2+. Tech Marine is a single model armed with a power axe and a servo arm, a bolt pistol, frag and crack grenades. Tech Marine costs 45 points. That's not including upgrades. He is equipped with a power axe. You must have a power axe. You must pay the points for a power axe, I believe. A servo arm, frag and crack grenades. So, plasma cutter, which is a unique weapon. When attacking this weapon, choose one of the profiles below. So, standard, supercharge. Okay, so plasma cutter is assault 1, range 12, strength 7, AP minus 3, 1 damage, and when you supercharge, grab strength 8, AP minus 3, 2 damage. And roll for 1. Run, the bear is slain. Okay. Right. They should know fear, blessing of the Omniscient. At the end of your movement phase, this model can repair a single chapter vehicle. So, for example, if it's Ultramarines, actually, chapter vehicle, I think, can he repair? Oh, so what it is that you specify which, you choose which chapter you're doing, so Ultramarines for example, and that Tech Marine is an Ultramarines Tech Marine. I think he can only prepare Ultramarines vehicles. Fair enough, that's fine. Okay, so if your model, in the movement phase, the model repair a single chapter vehicle within 1, that model regains D3 lost wounds, and a model can only be repaired once per turn. Okay, Primaris Lieutenant. Pretty much the same weapons, but it's got a special rule called Tactical Precision. You can re-roll wound rolls of 1 for friendly chapter units that are within 6 of a lieutenant. Company of Heroes. During deployment, all models in this unit must be set up at the same time, though they do not need to be set up in a unit coherency from that point onwards. Each lieutenant is treated as a separate unit. Oh, right, it's okay. So you can have an additional lieutenant within that unit, but Company of Heroes, you can split them off. So you don't have to go into coherency. That's pretty cool. Nice. It counts as 1 if you have 2. Cool. I like that. And then you got Primaris Marines, Primaris Lieutenant version. It's actually the same except for the different type of armour he is wearing. And it's got +1 wound. Okay. Tactical Squad. The most famous Space Marine unit. Movement 6, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 1, attacks 1, leadership 7, so 3+. Bolt pistol, bolt gun. Everybody knows what they are by now. Abilities, they should know fear. They can split into combat squads before any models are deployed at the start of the game. A tactical squad containing 10 models may split into 2 units, each containing 5 models. So there you go, gives you that tactical flexibility, especially when capturing objectives and holding objectives, which is really cool. Combat squads, I like it. It's very, very good rules they brought out in 5th edition. Here's a new squad here, the Intercessor squads. Intercessor squad, now it's quite interesting. We'll see the points cost for an Intercessor squad. And troops Intercessor squad is 20 points as compared to a tactical squad Marine is equipped with it's 13 points, whereas an Intercessor squad is 20 points. Bit expensive, but he is cool. He's got a good weapon. Okay, Intercessor is movement 6, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 2, attacks 2, leadership 7, save 3+. And then an Intercessor Sergeant, all the same except he gets 3 attacks and +1 leadership. Same with the tactical squad. Okay, this unit contains 1 Intercessor Sergeant and 4 Intercessors. It can include up to 5 additional Intercessors. So here we go. You can have squads of 10 Intercessor squads, Intercessor Marines. So will they phase tactical squads out? No, I don't think so. Because tactical squads have a strength, weaknesses, and likewise with intercessor squads. We'll find that out in just a second. Bolt rifle is rapid fire, range 30, strength 4, AP -1, 1 damage. So the weapon is better. The bolt standard weapon is better than the bolt gun. The bolt rifle is better, more superior. Stalker bolt rifle. So they have accessibility with these units. So you get defensive mode, heavy 1, brilliant AP, AP -2. Very, very cool. And auto bolt rifle as well if you want to go on the attack. Depends on what your mission is. Again, I recommend magnetizing. You must magnetize. Range 24, assault 2, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. Now, here's the strengths and weaknesses of a tactical squad. Okay, the weakness. We'll talk about the weaknesses. Okay, obviously tactical squad has 1 less wound. Their main primary weapon, the bolt gun, is not as superior as the intercessor squads. Now, all these 3 weapons, in my opinion, for the intercessors are better than the bolt guns. But you cannot take a unique weapon, like for example a las cannon or a plasma cannon, whereas a tactical squad, you can. So tactical squads, in my opinion, are here to stay. Regular Space Marines are here to stay. I think that's the case. Number 1, they're cheaper as well. Number 2, you get better anti-tank capability. Statistically, if you equip it with a las cannon with a tactical squad, I think it's good. I think tactical squads are great. I like them. They're very, very good, and they're very tactical and flexible, which is nice. So they're here to stay. That's the weakness of intercessor squads, for the Primaris Marines. They can't access the heavy weapons. But then you have another unit, which is for fire support, which we'll go through later on, like the plasma blasters and all that, whatever they're called. Okay, special rules. Echelon of Fear. Auxiliary grenade launcher. If a model armed with this auxiliary grenade launcher, increase the range of any grenade launcher to 30. So for every 5 intercessors, you can add an auxiliary grenade launcher to your bolt rifle. Very cool. I like it. Scout squad. Here we go. Scouts cost 11 points, and their power level is greater. So they've got all kinds of different weapons, pretty much the same as it does. Oh, this is cool. Whoa! Astartes shotgun. Astartes shotgun's changed. Range 12, strength, assault 2, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. Here we go. If the target has been half the range, add 1 to the weapon's strength. Nice. I like that. Very cool. Bolt gun, bolt pistol, heavy bolter, missile launcher, frag missile, crack missile. You can't take what's it called? Anti-aircraft missiles. Don't panic. There is a stratagem you can spend for having that unique ability, and it's nasty, very nasty. Sniper rifle is range 36, heavy 1, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. So you can pick out characters with this weapon. And a roll of a 6+ to wound for model. It inflicts a mortal wound. Brutal. War gear options. So you can check out the equipment list. It costs a load of points. For the sake of time, we won't do that. I'll let you discover that. Just go for the major rules. So they shouldn't interfere. Combat squads. Concealed positions. When you set up this unit during deployment, it can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 from the enemy in deployment. So it basically represents an ambush. That's excellent tactics there you can do. Camo cloaks. If every model in the unit, so again you have to pay points for that, has a camo cloak, you add 2 to the same throws made. That's the one we went through that earlier on. pretty much the same as Sergeant Hellion. Crusader Squad is pretty much the same as Tactical Squad and Scout Squads for the rules, but you can mix power armor with carapace armor. You know, squads of 20. Yeah, you have squads of 20, I think, as well. Primaris Ancient. Primaris Ancient is oh, by the way, Crusader Squads only applies to Black Templars. Primaris Ancient is movement 6, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 5, attacks 4, leadership 8, save 3+. They should know fear. Okay, Astartes Banner. Units within 6 of any friendly chapter ancients add 1 to their leadership. In addition, roll a d6 each time a chapter infantry model is destroyed within 6 of any friendly chapter ancients before removing the model as a casualty. On a 4+, the model musters 1 last surge of strength before succumbing to its wounds. It can either shoot with one of its weapons as if it was the shooting phase, or make a single attack as if it was the fight phase. So basically it's a bit of heroics there. So if the Marine dies, he gets to do a final shot, that kind of thing. A bit of heroics, a bit of fluff. I like it. Really good. Very, very cool. Oh, it's brutal. Basically represents for the banner, holding up the banner, very, you know, boosting up morale, that kind of thing. Glory. On to death. Chapter Ancient. Chapter Ancient, movement 6, weapon skill 3+. Okay, that's minus Calgar's bodyguard, that's the equivalent. And Astartes Banner is pretty much the same, it looks like. Yep. Pretty much the same. Okay. Chapter Champion. Chapter Champion. Interesting. Champion's Blade. Let's have a look at this. Strength user, AP -2. Champion's Blade. Melee. Strength user, AP -2, 1 damage. Each time the bearer fights, he can make 1 additional attack with this weapon. AP -2 as opposed to... Oh, Champion's Blade. Oh, wow. This is really cool. On the model, especially if you look at the Ultramarines one, it has a power sword. Okay. And then it also has the little dagger. Now they've done rules for the dagger. So Champion's Blade is nasty actually. Each time the bearer fights, you can make 1 additional attack with this weapon. So now you can split off your attacks as well if you have 2 unique weapons with the new 8th edition rules, which is really nice. Gives you that flexibility. Power sword, again, it's exactly the same. Frag and crack grenades. Honor or death. This model must make a heroic intervention. So if you're in 3 of the enemy, you must do a heroic intervention if he is able to do so. In addition, you can re-roll any fail to hit rolls for the model in the fight's phase when targeting a character. Very, very cool. Okay, Honor Guard. Honor Guard are movement 6. They got 2+ save as well. Weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4. They got 2 wounds now. 2 attacks as standard. Bolt pistol, power axe, that kind of thing. Yeah. Honor Guard. Okay, let's look at the rules for Honor Guard. Honor Guard. Roll a d6 each time a friendly chapter character loses a wound whilst they are within 3 of that unit. On a 2+, the model from this unit can intercept that hit. Oh right, so it's a bit like a, you know, heroic I'll take the hit, so to speak. The character does not lose the wound, but this unit suffers a mortal wound. Oh right, okay. Nice. So they're good to hang around with characters and that kind of thing. Company Ancient. Company agent. It's pretty much the same, actually. Yeah, pretty much the same as the other banners. Okay, we'll look at the medics, Space Marine medics, the Apothecary. The Apothecary is a single model armed with a bolt pistol, chainsword, frag and crack grenades. All the basic weapons, need to go through that. They should have fear, Anathricum. He's got, at the end of any of your movement phases, the Apothecary can attempt to heal and revive a single model. Select a friendly chapter, infantry or biker unit within 3 of the Apothecary. If that unit contains a wounded model, it immediately regains D3 lost wounds. If its chosen unit contains no wound models but one or more of its models, it can be slain during the battle. On a roll of D6 on a 4+, a single slain model is returned to the unit with 1 wound remaining. Oh. If the Apothecary fails to revive the model, he can do nothing else for the remainder of the turn. Shoot, charge, fight, etc. as he recovers the gene seed of the fallen warrior. A unit that can only be the target of the Anathricum ability once each turn. Okay, so you can do it once. But if you pass, that means you can get to fight and shoot and everything. But if you fail, it's pretty bad. So, but then, again, you've got your stratagems on standby. Company Champion. Pretty much the same, except he's got a combat shield, which is a 5+ and vulnerable save. Company Veteran, Space Marine Veteran. This unit contains 1 veteran and 1 Space Marine Veteran. It can include up to 3 additional Space Marine Veterans, power rating +5. They've got 2 attacks each for Space Marine Veteran, as opposed to 1. Abilities. Pretty much the same as Honor Guard. Nice. Bodyguard. Storm Shield. 3+ and vulnerable save. So that means the Sergeant can have, I think, he can have a Storm Shield. Interesting. Servitors. Been through this earlier on. You can equip with a multi-melter, plasma cannon, server arm, heavy bolter, that kind of thing. Primaris Apothecary. It's pretty much the same as Apothecary, and except he's got +1 wound and +1 attack. Reaver Squad. This is one of the new releases that Games Workshop have done. The Reaver Squad. Okay, let's have a look at this. Movement 6. Pretty slow. Weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 2, attacks 2, leadership 7, save 3+. Basically the same as the normal Primaris Marine. Reaver Sergeant gets 3 attacks as opposed to 2, +1 leadership as well. The new unique weapons they've got. Actually, we'll go through what the unit contains. The unit contains 1 Reaver Sergeant and 4 Reavers. It can include up to 5 additional Reavers, so you can have squads of 10. There you go. +5 power rating. Each model is armed with a bolt carbine and a heavy bolt pistol, frag and crack grenades, and shock grenades. Nice. Bolt carbine is range 24, assault 2, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. Nice. Better than bolt gun, in my opinion. It's a better improvement to the bolt gun. Heavy bolt pistol is range 12, pistol 1, strength 4, AP -1, damage 1. Combat knife, you get +1 attack when in close combat. Frag and crack grenades, shock grenade, this is a new one, grenade D3. This weapon does not inflict any damage if an enemy infantry unit is hit by any of the shock grenades. It is stunned until the end of your turn. It cannot fire Overwatch, and your opponent must subtract 1 from any hit rolls made from that unit. That is amazing. Okay, it may not kill somebody, but the rules writing is really realistic. So you can imagine you can chuck a shock grenade. You're able to hit. So it says here this weapon does not inflict any damage in an enemy infantry unit is hit. So basically you've got to roll to hit, and that's it. If you hit the target, they're hit by the shock grenade. You can't fire Overwatch, which is big, and it's -1 to hit. Nasty. They shall know no fear. And grapple launchers. When models with grapnel launchers move, do not count as a vertical distance. They move against the total they can move at turn, i.e. moving vertically is free for these models. In addition, during deployment you can set up this unit if it is equipped with grapnel launchers behind enemy lines instead of placing it on the battlefield at the end of any of your movement phases. This unit can join the battle, set up anywhere in 6 of the battlefield edge and your choice, and more than 9 away from enemy models. Brutal. Yeah, so you fire the grapple and that kind of thing. It's basically like weaving up levels much quicker. Very cool. And it does cost points. Grapnel launchers costs. Grapnel launchers was already be under. Grapnel launcher. I think it says. It says here range weapons, other weapons. Ah, here we go. Grapnel launcher is 2 points to have that upgrade. 2 points per model to have that. And a Reaver squad. They are elites. They are 18 points each. It's cheaper than a Primaris Marine. Okay, combat squads. Terror troops. Okay, well, enemy units must subtract 1 from their leadership if they are in 3 of Reaver squads. Brutal. So psychological warfare being in place. Grav Cutes. During deployment you can set up this unit if it is equipped with Grav Cutes in high orbit instead of placing the battlefield at the end of any of your movement phases. This unit can descend. Move 9 went. Oh wow! So you can basically just land, that kind of thing. They're not as fast as jetpacks, but you can just hover above the ground and wait for the opportune moment to attack. Cool. I like them. They're nice and fluffy. They may not be the most powerful, but the rules are fluffy and gorgeous. Which is nice. Here's another one. Aggressor Squad. An Aggressor costs 25 points each, not including upgrades. Aggressor movement of 5. Okay, slow. Weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+. Strength 4, toughness 5 because of Gravis armor. Wounds 2, attacks 2, leadership 7, so 3+. This unit contains 1 aggressor sergeant and 2 aggressors. It can include an additional 3 aggressors if you have units of 6. Power rating of 6, so it's 12 power level. Each model is armed with an auto bolt storm gauntlets and frag storm grenade launcher. Okay. Auto bolt storm gauntlets. Shooting is range 18, assault 6, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. Flame storm gauntlets, range 8, assault 2d6. Remember they're auto hits. Strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. This weapon automatically hits its target. Frag Storm Grenade Launcher is range 18, assault d6, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. Auto Bolt Storm Gauntlets, melee 3. Sorry, melee. Strength times 2, AP -3, d3 damage. Yeah, that's basically like a power fist. That's in close combat. Frag Storm Gauntlets in melee. Oh right, okay. Nasty weapons. Pretty nasty. Okay. All models in this may replace their Auto Bolt Storm Gauntlets with Frag Storm Grenade Launcher. Okay, nice. Abilities. They show no fear. Combat squads. So you can do split from your 6-man squad to 3 squads. So 2 squads of 3. Nice. Firestorm. Oh, right, this is exciting. Firestorm. Models in this unit can fire twice if they remain stationary during the turn, including when firing Overwatch. Oh, so that means if you stay still, and you didn't stay, if you stood still, you get to shoot twice. So 4d6 flamer hits per model. They're brutal for defense. If you have a horde of infantry that's coming towards them, they are nasty. Wow. I like them. I like it. Relentless advance. Models in this unit do not suffer any penalty to their hit rolls for advancing and firing assault weapons. That's fantastic. So instead of -1 to hit when advancing, you don't. That's pretty. They're not quick, but they got some really cool rules for advancing. Very cool. They're the lighter equivalent of Centurions. Very cool. Terminator Squad. Okay, a Terminator's movement 5, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 2, attacks 2, leadership 8, saves 2+. Sergeant now has 3 attacks. That's key, and leadership 9. Storm Bolter is rapid fire 2 now, so if you're up close within 12, it's 4 shots each. Superb. Chain Fist we went through, Power Fist we went through, Power Sword we went through. They should know no fear. Combat squads. You can have 10 Terminators, split them up, 2 squads of 5. Teleport Strike, went for that before. Teleport Homer. Okay, this is an interesting rule. If this unit has a Teleport Homer, place it anywhere in your deployment zone. When your army deploys, if an enemy model is ever within 9 of a Teleport Homer, it is deactivated and removed from the battlefield. Whilst there are any friendly chapter Teleport Homers on the battlefield, this unit can perform an emergency teleport instead of moving its movement phase. At the end of the movement phase, remove this unit and then set it up with all models within 6 of friendly chapter Teleport Homer. So basically, that's incredible. All models within 6 of the friendly chapter Teleport Homer. That Teleport Homer is then removed from the battlefield. That's incredible. So Teleport Homer. Let's check the cost. A Teleport Homer costs 0 points. 0 points. So you could have a unit, like right over here for example, in the beginning of the movement phase, like a Terminator unit. If you have a Teleport Homer over there, at the end of the movement phase, within 6 of a friendly unit. That's fantastic. So for example, if you have a Teleport Homer there, if you're within 9 inches from that Teleport Homer, I think, then you can teleport at the end of the movement phase and support on the other flank. So it's a bit opposite to like appear in an ambush type thing, but that's really cool. The rules of this edition are really fluffy, and I like it. I really like it. Terminator Assault Squad. Exactly the same, except they're the close combat variants. So Thunderhammer has ×2 strength, AP -3, 3 damage, -1 to hit. Lightning Claw, if you have a set of them, you make an additional attack, which is what they have. So their attacks become 3. Very, very cool. I love it. Cataphractii Terminator Squad. Basically the same rules for Cataphractii Captain, and these rules are the same for Cataphractii or regular Terminators. Tartaros Terminator Squad. These are the same Terminators, but they're faster, so they are better than normal Terminators. Whereas Cataphractii Terminators sacrifice speed for toughness, whereas Tartaros Terminators are just better than regular Terminators because they have better movement. and they can be equipped with regular. Well, this is 30k period. Now there's another thing, I won't be getting these units for 40k because in my collection these 2 Terminator units will be for my 30k Ultramarines army, which I'm planning to do in the near future when I get time. So many projects. Okay, Vanguard Veteran Squad. All the special rules for the Space Marines, and a Vanguard Veteran Squad. Vanguard is elites. Vanguard is 16 points. And look at Terminator, actually. A Terminator is 31 points. But then you've got to pay for upgrades, of course. Remember, don't forget that. I made a big boo-boo on the first bat rep I did. I just added the units, forgetting to actually pay the points. I'll try not to do that again. Same the rules to Space Marines, Storm Shield, Jump Pack Assault. Yep, no heroic intervention or anything like that. That's gone. Okay, Stern Guard Veterans. Pretty much the same as regular veterans, except they have special issue bolt gun. Rapid fire 1, strength 4, AP -2, 1 damage. Nice, but there's only 1 special ammunition you can have, which is nice, but Death Watch Marines have all sorts of unique weaponry, which is cool. Don't mind that change whatsoever. And AP -2 is good. It's very good. And especially if you equip it with combi weapons. Again, it's the Dreadnought. Space Marine Dreadnought. Movement 6, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 6, toughness 7, wounds 8, attacks 4, leadership 8, save 3+. And he has got an assault cannon. Assault cannon is range 24, heavy 6, strength 6, AP -1, 1 damage. 6 shots, good rate of fire. I like it. Remember, when you move, it's -1 to hit because it's heavy. Still got that 7th edition in my head, so I'm trying to get that out and play with 8th. Heavy Flamer, so it's heavy D6, strength 5, AP -1, an automatic hits the target. It's good. Missile launcher, so you can do frag and crack. Nice. AP -2, D6 damage is good, very reliable. Okay. Stormbolter, it's the same. Dreadnought close combat weapon. Not unwieldy, which is cool. Strength ×2, that means it's strength 12. Because its characteristic is strength 6, ×2 is 12. AP -3, 3 flat damage. Nice. Okay. Smoke launchers, once per game, instead of shooting any weapons in the shooting phase, this model can use its smoke launchers until your next shooting phase. Your opponent must subtract 1 from his hit rolls for ranged weapons that hits the target. So for example, if you're out of range, you can deploy the smoke launchers as a good tactic. That's what tank commanders would do in real life. If they're in trouble, activate smoke, boom. Provides you cover. Explodes. If this model is reduced to 0 wounds on a roll of 6 before removing the model from the battlefield on a roll of 6, it explodes and each unit suffers within 3 inches suffers D3 mortal wounds. The Ironclad Dreadnought. Now instead of it's the same as the regular Dreadnought, but it's toughness 8 instead of 7 because it's got obviously better protection. Okay, let's look at these unique weapons. Hunter Killer Missile is 1 use only, range 48, it's not unlimited range anymore, only range 48. Heavy 1, strength 8, AP -2, D6 damage. The model can only fire each of its Hunter Killer Missiles once per battle. Hurricane Bolter, range 24, rapid fire 6, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. So if you're in 12, it's 12 shots. Lots of shots. There's no more twin linked anymore. It's just twin, which is nice. Melter Gun is range 12, assault 1, strength 8, AP -4, D6, points of damage. If the targets are in half range of this weapon, roll 2 dice when inflicting damage, and when it's discarded, the lowest result. So you roll 2d6, and you roll a 6 and a 3. I'll choose the 6. So in 6 inches. Nice. Stormbolter. Dreadnought Chain Fist. Strength times 2. AP minus 4. 4 damage. Oh! I've got the Chain Fist. Oh, ooh, ooh, ooh. Wow. Okay. Dreadnought Chain Fist. A Dreadnought Chain Fist. It costs. Dreadnought Chain Fist. Where are you? You may be under unique weapons. Dreadnought Chain Fist is 46 points. Oh, expensive. It is expensive, but it's very powerful. Dreadnought Close Combat Weapons, the same. Seismic Hammer is melee, strength times 2, AP minus 4, 5 damage. When attacking with this weapon, you must subtract 1 from all to hit. So that's his weakness. So that's not unwieldy, which is interesting. But with this one but it's AP minus 5. So it's AP minus 4 and 5 flat damage. That's an anti-tank killer. Don't even have to roll. And the Seismic Hammer costs you 48 points. So it's 2 points more expensive. An Ironclad Dreadnought. Let's go back. Sorry about this. Flicking through the Codex. An Ironclad Dreadnought costs you 80 points. Okay, but then you got the weapons as well. Hurricane Bolter. H for Hurricane Bolter looks like it's only 4 points. That's cheap for Hurricane Bolter. And then you got Dreadnought Combat Weapon is 40 points. So then you're looking at 120, 160 or 170 points. It's expensive, but he's very good. And +1 toughness. It's nice. Okay. Venerable Dreadnought. All the same, really, as the standard weapons, but he's got Unyielding Ancient. Roll a d6 each time the model loses a wound. On a 6, the damage is ignored, and that the wound is not lost. Nice. So it proves to be venerable. Keeps on going. Resilient. Pretty much the same as a regular Dreadnought, except for that ability. But it's weapon skill 2+ and ballistic skill 2+. Nice. Contemptor Dreadnought. This is 30k. Be interesting to find out anyway. Strength 7, toughness 7. It's +1 strength, so it becomes strength 14 on its attacks. So toughness 7 is 2's to wound. Attacks 4, leadership 8, save 3+. And now it's up to wounds 10. So wounds remaining. So 6 to 10 is weapon skill and ballistic skill is the same. Then 3 to 5 it's 3+3+. 1 to 2 is 4+4+. And movement is knocked down as well. Atomic Shielding. The model has a 5+ invulnerable save. It's cool. Explodes within 6, yeah. So instead of 3, it's in 6 because the fluff states that it's more susceptible to exploding. This is the new beast, the Redemptor Dreadnought. Now, the Redemptor Dreadnought will cost you 140 points. So that's without upgrades. It's if you look at here, it has 13 wounds for a Dreadnought. That's incredible. Movement of 8 as well, it's quicker. Weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+. Then it knocks down on certain stats. Single model equipped with a heavy onslaught Gatling gun. Gatling cannon. Heavy onslaught Gatling cannon. A heavy onslaught Gatling gun. I think it's under weapons. There we go. It's 36 points. A heavy flamer, Icarus rocket pod, and frag storm grenade launcher. And okay, so let's check the cost for the Icarus rocket pod. The Icarus rocket pod is 6 points, but then you got that heavy flamer as well and other weapons. So the points are building up. You see how more expensive Marines have become, but it's expensive, but it's quality. That's what you're getting of a Marine army. So, frag storm grenade launcher. It's range 18, assault D6, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. Heavy flamer, we've been through that before. Heavy onslaught Gatling gun, range 30, heavy 12. So remember, if you're moving, it's -1 ballistic skill. Strength 5, AP -1, 1 damage. Icarus rocket pod is range 24, heavy 3. Strength 7, good strength. AP -1, it's good. 1 damage. Add 1 to the hit rolls made with this weapon against targets that can fly. So it's an anti-aircraft capability. That's really good. Only for 6 points as well. Subtract 1 from the hit rolls made with this weapon against all other targets. Now this is an interesting one. Macro plasma incinerator, and that costs you ranged weapons, isn't it? 31 points. So that is range 36, heavy D6, strength 8, AP -4, very good armor penetration, a good caliber as well, and 1 damage. Supercharge, range 36, heavy D6, strength 9, AP -4, 2 damage. The damage is not very good, but the strength, the caliber is very good, and the armor penetration. It's a shame about the damage, could be a bit higher. It's not really an anti-tank weapon, but yeah, again, the caliber of the weapon is. I think it's an anti-heavy infantry weapon. That's what I think it is. So the las cannon is still in it for tactical squads and for dreadnoughts. You see, the dreadnought can have access to a twin las cannon, whereas the Redemptor dreadnought can't. So there is still hope for the old Space Marines. But the new Redemptor dreadnought has its unique strengths, which we're obviously seeing. So for each hit roll of a 1, the bearer suffers 1 mortal wound after all of this model's shots have been resolved. So that's pretty cool. Now let's compare that to a plasma cannon. So can you take a plasma cannon with a venerable? Assault cannon, heavy flamer, missile launcher. Dreadnought, the Dreadnought heavy weapons list. So let's look. I think we'll need to check this out. Now, look how many pages there are. So, plasma cannon. Oh, I think the model is slain. Yeah. So, plasma technology has definitely improved. Let's just go back here. Sorry, I'm flicking through the pages because I'll keep a note for the points cost. So if you equip, like for example, a venerable dreadnought with a plasma cannon and you suffer a gets hot, it dies. Brutal. That's an interesting point, and I think you'll find that is key. One of the main strengths of this new weaponry. The plasma technology is better and more reliable for the Redemptor dreadnought than it is for the regular plasma cannon. It's brutal. Comment below if I've got that wrong, but it is very interesting. So yeah, strength 9, AP minus 4, 2 damage. It's brutal. Onslaught Gatling Cannon. That's the underslung weapon on one of the fists. So that is heavy. So that's range 24, heavy 6, strength 5, good AP, AP minus 1, 1 damage. Stormbolter, Redemptor Fist. Okay, Redemptor Fist is melee, strength times 2, so your strength 14, AP minus 3. Instead of 3 flat damage, it's D6. So it could do really well, it may not do very well. D6 is very unpredictable. Again, stratagems on standby. So that's the Redemptor Dreadnought. I've got one, and I look forward to painting a couple of those. Centurion Assault Squad. Centurions are movement 4, very slow. Weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 5, toughness 5. Good, strength and toughness. Wounds 3, so they increase to an extra wound, which is good compared to the last edition. 2 attacks. So they've actually increased their attacks now. That's cool. Leadership 7, save 2+. Centurion Sergeant gets 3 attacks. Flamer, Hurricane Bolter. Rapid Fire 6. Yep, that's it, that's fine. Melter Gun, Assault 1. So strength 8 for this basically a Melter Gun. Okay, Special Rules Edition, Fear Combat Squads, Centurion Assault Launchers. If the model is Centurion Assault Launchers, finishes its charge move in one of enemy unit, roll a d6 on a 4+, that unit suffers a mortal wound. Nice, that's cool. Omniscope, and tell you what, we'll check the points for that. So what's that called? That is a Centurion Assault Launcher. I think that could be in here actually. Centurion Assault Launcher. Centurion. Assault Launcher. No, it's not there. Well, if you can find it out. For the sake of time, there's so much information in here. It's beyond belief. It's so big, this codex. I'm trying to go through this as quick as possible for your viewing pleasure. Omniscope. Enemy units do not receive the benefit to their saving throws for being in cover against attacks made by a unit that includes Centurion Sergeant. That's good. That's cool. I like that. Omniscope. It's good tactics. Bike Squad. Bikes are movement 14. They've got 2 wounds each now. That's just good. Turbo Boost. Pretty much the same. You can add an extra 5, make your squad 10. Attack bikes, that kind of thing. Bike Squad. Attack Bike Squad. Yep, they can still have attack bike squads. Cool. Okay. Assault Squad. Pretty much the same as it was. Remember, there's no melter guns. They can only take flamers. And we can double check actually. Always double check before you make a conclusion. Pistols list. Okay. Space Marine Sergeant, no. For every 5 models in unit, 1 model will replace its bolt pistol with an eviscerator. The entire unit. Oh, there you go. Up to 2 Space Marines may replace their bolt pistol and chainsaw with a flamer, so it only specifies flamer, or a plasma pistol and a chainsaw. Fair enough. It's pretty much the same. Jump back assault, combat squads, that kind of thing. Assault squad, but then you add the points to add jump pack. To add a jump pack is actually increases 1 power level. Land Speeders. This is where it gets interesting. Movement 16, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, toughness 5, 6 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 7, save 3+. Now, I've read in the previous laws that Land Speeders, Space Marine Power Armor, has better armor protection than a Land Speeder. I'm very surprised by that. So land speeder now is exact same save. Armor value, and it's tougher. Okay, no complaint. That's fine. It's fine for me. It's all good. So you can take units of 3. The only thing I'd say about land speeders, I wish they could do units of 5, because in formations you have 5 land speeders, which makes up a 10-man squad. So for 5 land speeders, 10 men, because 2 men operating a land speeder. Don't know why they don't do that, but maybe they'll sort that out in the near future. Maybe Centurions, the argument, they could argue that. I can understand. Heavy bolter, maybe 3. Strength 5, AP -1. Heavy bolters are good now. I like heavy bolters. They're good AP, good strength. They've always been a good weapon to use. Typhoon missile launcher is heavy 2d6 for fragmentation, and crack is heavy 2. It's a good weapon. Okay, but land speeders, you have to bear in mind, land speeders are very expensive because you have to pay for these points. Okay, they should know no fear. Anti-Gravwash. Models in this unit have a move characteristic of 20 instead of 16, whilst the unit contains 3 models. Okay. Explodes. Anyone with 3. Model 6 explodes, suffers D3 multiple wounds. Oh, suffers a mortal wound rather than D3. That's different. So the explosion is not as great. Attack bike. So boost. You can equip it with a heavy weapon. Pretty much what it is. Scout bike squad. Combat squads. Weapon skill. Oh, movement 16 as opposed to 14, so they are faster. Strength 4, toughness 5, wounds 2, attacks 1, leadership 7, say 4+ because they've got carapace armor. Astartes shotgun they can be equipped with. Astartes grenade launcher. Twin bolt gun. You can fire your twin bolt gun as well as your unique shotgun or whatever weapon they've got. Inceptor. Okay, Inceptor squads. These are the unique jump pack units, which are cool. Movement 10, pretty fast. Weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, toughness 5, 2 wounds, attacks 2, leadership 7, say 3+. Inceptor has 3 attacks and +1 leadership. Assault bolter. Let's find out how much they cost. They are fast attack, and you are looking at how many points do they cost? Inceptor squad costs you 30 points, but you've got to add upgrades as well, don't forget for the points. Assault bolter is range 18, assault 3, strength 5, AP -1, damage 1. Plasma exterminator. When attacking with this weapon, choose one of the profiles below. Standard, range 18, strength assault D3, strength 7, AP -3, damage 1. And supercharge. It's a bit like plasma. It's a bit like an assault plasma cannon. That's what it is. It's actually like that. It's like a carbine plasma cannon. It's got 2 of them. Bear in mind, it's got 2. Brutal. 2 assault bolters, yeah. So, yeah, if you supercharge, it's slain. Okay, I should know no fear. Metric descent. During deployment, you can set up this unit high in orbit instead of placing it basically 9 inches away from the enemy. Pretty cool. Crushing charge. On a roll with D6 each time the model of this unit finishes its charge move in one of an enemy unit. On a roll of 6, the enemy suffers a mortal wound. Ooh, they're good at charging. Nice. Okay, they're aggressive. I like to get stuck in, so on a roll of 6 when you charge. Ouch. Yeah, so roll a d6 each time a model from this unit finishes a charge move within 1 of an enemy unit. On a roll of 6. Don't forget that. That's a good rule. That's a really good rule. Devastator Squad. Pretty much the same as it was in all the other previous editions. You know, the rest of your stats for Space Marine. I don't believe this. They've actually done the stats for the Armontium Cherub. Movement 6, weapon skill 6+. Oh, little baby gets to fight. Strength 2, toughness 4. Strength 2, toughness 4. How is it toughness 4? It's a baby, for crying out loud. Oh dear. Wounds 1, 1 attack. Leadership 3. Oh dear, the baby's moaning. Oh man, that was unexpected. And it's got an armor save of 6+. Alright, okay. Oh dear. Right. They can split up into combat squads. Signum. Before the unit shoots in the shooting phase, you can choose one model from that unit is within 3. That's Sergeant. You can add 1 to hit and aid for your chosen model's weapons in this phase. Okay, here we go. The big one. The most impressive unit so far. The Armontium Cherub. Once per game after a model in this unit has fired an Armontium Cherub, can reload that model's weapons. When it does so, remove the Armontium Cherub model and can immediately shoot again. The removal of the Armontium Cherub for any reason is ignored for the purposes of morale. How cool is that? So they've actually done a stats line for the Cherub. What's surprising is ballistic skills blank. Let's check the rules. Let's check how many points he is. So, Armontium Cherub. Okay, it's 5 points to have that upgrade. Oh dear, you gotta have a bit of sense of humour. So, Devastator Squads, I'm so glad I've got them. I've still yet to bank that unique unit, that Cherub. Right, okay. Being more serious now, we are Ultramarines and Space Marines. Centurion Devastator Squad. Movement 4, slow. But, good firepower. We went for the stats for Centurions for the Assault, they're exactly the same Assault variant. Centurion Missile Launcher is range 36, a bit slow. Range is not the best. Assault D3, which is good rate of firepower. Strength 8, AP-2, D3 damage instead of D6. Not very good, but it's okay. It's not the most powerful. Grav Cannon and Grav Amp. Grav weapons have changed now. Grav used to be very, very powerful. It still is very powerful, but they toned it down a little bit more fluffy and lore-based. So it's range 24, heavy 4, strength 5, AP-3, 1 damage. If this target has a saving throw of 3+ or better, this weapon has a damage characteristic of D3. That's very good. So it's an anti-heavy infantry weapon. But then it's an anti-light infantry weapon as well. It's cool. Heavy Bolter is range 36, heavy 3, strength 5, AP-1, 1 damage. Hurricane Bolter, Rapid 6, went for that before. Las Cannon, range 48, heavy 1, strength 9, AP-3, D6. A lot of people like Las Cannons. I like Las Cannons as well, personally. Combat Squads, they shouldn't interfere. Decimator Protocols. Models in this unit do not suffer the penalty to hit for moving and firing heavy weapons. So you will suffer a -1 penalty for having a assault missile, Centurion missile launcher, because it's assault. But you're moving anyway, so it doesn't affect this skill. So even if you run, you can actually, it's pretty cool. They're not bad actually. You can advance and still fire them at -1 ballistic skill. So they're not bad actually. They still have their strengths. Omniscope. Enemy unit does not receive the benefit of their saving throws for being in cover against attacks made while it includes a Centurion Sergeant. Nice. Here's another one. The Hellblaster Squad. Hellblaster Squad. let's check the cost. Hellblaster is heavy support. And where are you? Hellblaster. Hellblaster. Aha, there you are. You are 18 points. In fact, you are cheaper than a Primaris Marine Intercessor. They're 18 points. That's interesting. Same stats as the Primaris Marine. You can have squads of 10. Assault Incinerator. When attacking his weapon. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Assault Plasma Incinerator is range 24, Assault 2. Strength 6, AP minus 4, 1 damage. Okay, that's the first stat. Supercharge is range 24, Assault 2, Strength 7, AP minus 4, 2 damage. Yeah, if you roll a 1 when supercharging, the bear is slain. Heavy Plasma Incinerator. So the caliber of the weapon is increased, but the damage is the same. So it's heavy 1, range 36. Strength 8, AP minus 4, 1 damage. Supercharge is strength 9, AP minus 4, 2 damage. If you roll a 1, bear is slain. Plasma Incinerator is range 30, rapid fire. Strength 7, AP minus 4, 1 damage. And supercharge is range 30, strength 8, AP minus 4, 2 damage. And we roll a 1, bear is slain. Afterwards, the attacks have been resolved. Okay. Plasma Pistol. Yep, same. Supercharge, bear is slain. Yeah, they're just basically heavy Primaris Marines with better caliber weapons. Which is cool. And you can have the Assault equivalent as well. Very good. I presume that people will start magnetising them for weapons options, which is nice. The Thunderfire Cannon. So look at the Thunderfire Cannon first. It has a movement 3. Weapon skill 6+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 3, toughness 6, wounds 4, attacks 1, leadership 8, save 3+. Tech Marine Gunner. Weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 2+, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 2. Attacks 3, leadership 8, save 2+. All similar stats for Tech Marine. The Thunderfire Cannon is range 60, heavy 43, strength 5, AP minus 1, 1 damage. This weapon can target units that are not visible to the firing model. Cool. So artillery support, light artillery support, servo arm. That's it. There are stratagems for the Thunderfire Cannon. So it's only one type of round as opposed to 3 in the last edition. Don't panic, there are still others. Okay, artillery. A Thunderfire Cannon can fire its ranged weapon with a friendly chapter Tech Marine Gunner in 3. A single Tech Marine Gunner can operate multiple Thunderfire Cannons this way in a single turn. Alright. If at any point there are no Tech Marine Gunners within 6 of the Thunderfire Cannon, it is immediately shuts down and is removed from play. Okay. So you can operate 2 Thunderfire Cannons, it looks like. Let's read that again. And let's double check. Thunderfire Cannons. Thunderfire Cannon can only fire its ranged weapon. A friendly chapter Tech Marine Gunner. In 3, a single Tech Marine Gunner cannot operate multiple. Oh, cannot operate for the. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Cannot operate more than 1 Thunderfire Cannon. Fair enough. Tech Marine Gunner. When Tech Marine Gunner Thunderfire Cannon is set up on the battlefield, the Tech Marine Gunner is set up in its unit coherency with it. From that point onwards, the Tech Marine Gunner is treated as a separate unit. Blessing of Omnissiah. So you can repair vehicles as well, because you've got a server arm. Okay, now we've got the Hunter. Weapon skill 6+, strength 6, toughness 8, 11 wounds, leadership 8, save 3+. And we'll go for the stats there. The wounds remaining for the vehicle, that kind of thing. You've got light, heavy, critical damage, that kind of thing. Right, so Hunter Killer Missile, we know the stats for that. Sky Spear Missile Launcher is heavy 1, strength 9, AP minus 3, d6 damage. Good, decent damage. AP minus 3, nice. Add 1 to hit rolls made with this weapon against targets that can fly. You can reroll failed to hit rolls for this weapon. Ah, that's nasty. Okay, it's only one shot, but it's brutal. It's like a homing missile, brutal homing missile. And against flyers, it's even deadly. Very cool. And all the similar rules for vehicles. Stalker, all the same stats as the Hunter, except it has got the Icarus Storm Cannon. Range 48, heavy 3, strength 7, AP -1, 2 damage. Add 1 to hits rolls made with this weapon against a target that can fly. Subtract 1 the models made with other targets. Fair enough. So if you hit in the ground, it becomes 4+ to hit, but against flies, it's 2s to hit. Very good anti-aircraft capability. The Whirlwind. 11 wounds, toughness 7 as opposed to toughness 8. Okay. Whirlwind Castellan Launcher is range 72, much better range. Heavy 2d6, strength 6, AP 0, damage 1. This weapon can target units that are not visible to the firing model. Cool. Whirlwind Vengeance Launcher, range 72, heavy 2d3, strength 7, AP -1, 2 damage. This model can target units that are not visible to the firing weapon. Cool. Predators. Everyone's talking about Predators. I like Predators. I like both configurations. I've tested out both, and there's a little bit of a debate as to which one I prefer. So, the Predator is power level 9. Heavy bolter, you can have pretty much the similar stats as the Whirlwind. Okay. Las Cannon, we know what the Las Cannon does, but the Predator autocannon is what makes it unique. Predator autocannon is range 48, heavy 2d3, strength 7, AP -1, 3 damage. That is fantastic. They have improved the autocannon at long last. I took this weapon to a game, tested it out, and I loved it. It was fantastic for taking out infantry and light vehicles. It's a nasty weapon. It's the equivalent to the modern standards today of the Bradley infantry fighting vehicle that the Americans have, infantry transport. But this is not a transport. The gun is the equivalent of the same. That's an excellent weapon. I highly recommend you use the Predator autocannon. But the twin las cannon with 4 las cannons, the Predator Annihilator configuration, is good. But the Predator Destructor is back, and I reckon a lot of people will like that. The Vindicator is toughness 8 because it's got the extra armour. Demolisher Cannon is range 24, heavy d3, strength 10, AP -3, d6 damage. When attacking with this model with 5 or more models, change this weapon's type to heavy d6. Which is cool, so more infantry. Good. Okay, the Land Raider. The Land Raider. The cost is about the same points, but then you've got to add upgrades as well, so it can be very expensive. Land Raider has movement of 10, weapon skill 6+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 8, toughness 8, wounds 16, attacks 6, leadership 9, save 2+, good armor protection. Right, armed with las cannons, heavy bolters, that kind of thing. Special rules. Power of the Machine Spirit. This model does not suffer the penalty to hit rolls for moving and firing heavy weapons. And the transport capacity. This model can transport 10 chapter infantry models. Okay. Each jump pack or Terminator model makes the space of 2 other models, and each Centurion takes the space of 3. It cannot transport Primaris models. So, I think you can... take jump pack models. I think you can. But I'm not sure. Still don't think you can. You can check that out in the Codex when you look at it for yourself. We're too far ahead in this review. Land Raider Crusader. All the same stats as the regular Land Raider. Except it's got the assault launchers, which we went through earlier on. And okay, frag assault launchers. Ah, here we go. Roll a d6 each time this model finishes a charge within one of an enemy unit. Roll 4+, that suffers d3 mortal wounds, so that's brutal. So instead of 1 for the Centurions, it's d3. Yeah, because obviously it's got a bigger version. That's cool. I like that. Land Raider Redeemer, same as Land Raider, except it's got the Flamestorm Cannon, which is range 8, heavy d6, strength 6, AP -2, 2 damage. This weapon automatically hits the target. Transport capacity of 12. Okay, and this one has a transport capacity of 16, the Crusader. It's pretty much the same as it was. The Rhino. All the same, 10 wounds. Transport capacity of 10 models. Cannot take Primaris or Centurion. Oh yeah, it cannot transport Jump Pack, Terminator, Primaris or Centurion. Fair enough. So I think you can take Jump Packs in Land Raider. Interesting. Okay, self-repair. A lot of people forget this, but it can be done. Roll a d6 at the start of each of your turns. On a roll 6, the model regains 1 lost wound. Bear in mind that they're a little bit more reliable than a regular tank. Okay, the Razorback. Transport capacity of 6, and it's got all the other caliber weapons. Sacrifice transport space for a heavier caliber weapon. Which is cool. Drop Pod. Drop pods, I think, are around 130 odd points, something like that. 135. Drop pod has weapon skill dash, ballistic skill 3+. When it's dash, that means you're not allowed to go in close combat. Strength 6, toughness 6, wounds 8, attack 0, leadership 8, save 3+. Deathwind launcher is range 12, assault d6, strength 5, AP 0, damage 1, and storm bolter. Abilities: Drop Pod Assault. During deployment, you can set up this model along with any units embarked within it and in orbit instead of placing it on the battlefield. At the end of any of your movement phases, this model can perform a Drop Pod Assault and set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 away from the enemy models. Any models embarked inside must immediately disembark, and they must be set up more than 9 away from any enemy models. Any models that cannot be set up because of this is not enough of a is slain. That's fair enough. Immobile. After this model has been set up on the battlefield, it cannot move for any reason, and no units can embark upon it. So, yeah, that's cool. It's pretty much the same as it really was, same function. Land Speeder Storm. It's pretty much the same as a Land Speeder, except it's got +1 wound, but -1 save. So it's saved for plus. But it's got different unique weapons. Cerberus Launcher is range 18, heavy d6, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. Open topped. Models embarked in this vehicle can shoot. This is their shooting phase. They can measure range and draw an eyesight from any point of the vehicle. When they do so, any restrictions or modifiers that apply to this model also apply to its passengers. For example, passengers cannot shoot as if the model is falling back. The same turn, cannot shoot models within 1 of the enemy unit, and so on and so on. Note that the passengers cannot shoot if this model falls back, even if the Land Speeder Storm itself can. Okay. Explodes. Wound 3, suffers a mortal wound. It's all the same. Here's the other one, the new one, the Repulsor. It's actually the same stats as a Land Raider, except it's a little bit faster. Oh no, it's the same speed actually. No, movement 10. Okay. And a save of 3+. Transport will be quite interesting. Transport 10. Primaris. This model can transport 10 Chapter Primaris infantry models. Each Mark 10 Gravis armor takes up the space of 2 models. It cannot transport jump pack models. Okay, that's interesting. This model can transport 10 Chapter Primaris infantry models. Each Gravius model takes up the space of 2. Oh, fair enough. So you can take up. They're halfway between bulky and not bulky. So Primaris Marines would count as 1, and then you've got the other types. Gravius Armor counts as 2. So the Fragstorm grenade launcher, assault D6. Yep, assault Gatling gun. I think these are pretty much the same as the Redemptor Dreadnought. This would be cool. Icarus Iron Hall Heavy Stubber. This is unique. Range 36, Heavy 3, Strength 4, AP -1 now, and 1 damage. Add 1 to hit rolls made for this weapon against a target that can fly. Subtract 1 from this model made for weapons or other targets. So it's an anti-aircraft weapon. Okay. Icarus or Rocket Pod. Strength 7, we've already been through that earlier on. Iron Hill Heavy Stubber. Crackstorm Grenade Launcher. Range 18. Strength 6, AP -1, D3. Las Tannon. This is good. Range 24, Heavy 2, Strength 9, AP -3, D6. So they've actually got the weapons now from the Interceptor Stormhawk and put it on the repulsor. Cool. Okay. All the war gear have been here. I won't have time to look through that for the sake of time, because this book review is going on and on. Hover tank. Distances and ranges are always measured to and from the model's hull, even though it has its base. Fair enough, from the hull, even though it has a base. That's very well clarified. Repulsor field. Your opponent must subtract 2 from any charge rolls made from units that declare a charge against the repulsor. So it's a very good defensive tank, actually. Must subtract 2. Power the machine spirit. Auto launchers. Instead of shooting any weapons in the shooting phase, this model can use its auto launchers until your next shooting phase. Your opponent must subtract 1 from all hit rolls for ranged weapons that hit the target vehicle. Okay, explodes. This model is reduced to zeros. And all 6 explodes. Each unit has 6 size D6 mortal wounds. D6 mortal wounds. It's nasty. Okay, I like it. It's good transport. It is actually a dedicated transport, would you believe? It's not heavy support. Okay, next is the Stormhawk Interceptor. Stormhawk Interceptor has a movement characteristic of 20 to 60. Weapon skill 6+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 6, toughness 7, wounds 10. Assault Cannon is range 24, V6. Icarus Storm Cannon, range 48. That's basically the same as the Stalker that we looked at earlier on. Airborne. Crash and burn. Oh, airborne. Yep, you can do fly. Cannot charge. Oh, airborne. Okay, this model cannot charge. Can only be charged by units that can fly. And can only be attacked or be attacked by a flight phase with units that can fly. Crash and burn. This model is reduced to 0 wounds. Roll D6. I mean 6 suffers D3 mortal wounds. Interceptor. You can add 1 to hit rolls of this model when targeting fly. So it's anti-aircraft flyer. It's an interceptor. Supersonic. Each time the model moves, first pivot it on the spot up to 90 degrees. This does not contribute to how far the model moves, and then moves the model straight forwards. Note that it cannot pivot again after the initial pivot. When the model advances, increases move characteristic by 20, so you can go up to 80 if you wanted to at the end of the phase, and do not roll a dice. Hard to hit. Your opponent must subtract 1 to hit an interceptor as a flyer. Okay, so Infernal Halo Launcher. You can re-roll save rolls of a 1 for this model. It's very cool. Stormraven Gunship. Okay, Stormraven Gunship is toughness 7, 14 wounds, and has a movement characteristic of 45 inches and 3 attacks, save 3+. All the same characteristics as before for the weapons. Airborne, supersonic. Yes, it is supersonic. So you can have 20. Hard to hit. Yep. Hard to hit. Hoverjet. Before this model moves in your movement phase, you can declare it with hover. As the move characteristic becomes 20 until the end of the phase, and it loses airborne, hard to hit, and supersonic abilities. So you can hover, which is very cool. Crash and burn. Same rules apply. How the Machine Spirit does have that. Next is the Storm Talon Gunship. Pretty much the same stats, except its movement 50. And Strafing Run. Strafing Run, you can have 1 to hit rolls this model when targeting an enemy in the shooting phase and cannot fly. Okay. It's nice. You don't get that -1 to hit penalty for firing heavy weapons because you count as moving. Sky Hammer. Soldier. Yeah, pretty much the same. Strafing Run, Hoverjet. Oh, here we go. Hoverjet. Before the model moves into your movement phase, you can declare. Okay, you can do Hoverjet. That's fine. Pretty much the same. And then we have the big boy, Robute Guilliman, Primarch of the Ultramarines. Movement 8, Weapon Skill 2+, Ballistic Skill 2+, Strength 6, Toughness 6, Wounds 9, Attack 6, Leadership 10, Save 2+. Robute Guilliman is a single model armed with the Emperor's Sword, Hand of Dominion. Only one of this model can be included in your army. Hand of Dominion. Shooting. Range 24, Rapid Fire 3, so potential 6 shots up close. Strength 6, AP -1, 2 damage each. The Emperor's Sword, melee. Strength +2 becomes Strength 8, AP -4, 3 damage. If you roll a wound roll of a 6 for this weapon, it inflicts D3 mortal wounds in addition to its normal damage. Ah! That is really nasty. Then you've got the Hand of Dominion melee. Strength ×2 becomes Strength 12 on the attack, AP -3, 3 damage. It's not unwieldy. Ugh, that's horrific. And he can split his attacks as well because he's got 2 different weapons. Okay, they should know no fear, of course. Armour of Fate. Robute Guilliman has a 3+ invulnerable save. In addition, for the first time, Robute Guilliman is reduced to 0 wounds. Roll a d6 on a 4+. Set him up again at the end of the phase and at the closest point possible to his previous position and more than 1 inch away from any enemies. Roll a d6. Wounds remaining. Oh, he can resurrect himself. And you can spend stratagems as well to, if you roll a 1, spend a stratagem, get him back up. Author of the Codex. If your army is battle forged, you receive an additional 3 command points if Robute Guilliman is your warlord. He is the warlord for me. Master of Battle. You can add 1 to advance and charge rolls for friendly Imperium units. That includes Imperial Guard. Units within 12 of Robute Guilliman and re-roll hit rolls of 1 and fail morale tests for these units. 13th Primarch. You can re-roll any failed hit and to wound rolls for friendly Ultramarines units within 6 of Robute Guilliman. That is an incredible ability. He's 360 points. He's big, bold, and very powerful. Very difficult to take down. Okay, here we go. We got the armour of Space Marines. Look at all these pages. There used to be one page. Now there's 5 pages. Horrific. Oh, went through all those stats. There's a lot of info in here. So here's a showcase video, photo of the Ultramarines, Third Company, engaging the Black Legion. Sons of the Primarchs. Okay. So these are unique special rules for the Adeptus Astartes. Space Marine units, abilities, Defenders of Humanity, chapter tactics. So, for example, Ultramarines, they'll choose their unique chapter. And then if you're second founding, you'd abide by the first founding chapters. Okay, for Ultramarines, Ultramarines Codex Discipline. I'll read through this main bit here. Add 1 to the leadership characteristic of all Ultramarines models for this tactic. In addition, Ultramarines units with this tactic can still shoot in a turn in which they fall back. But if they do so, they must subtract 1 from their hit rolls in the shooting phase. That's a very powerful ability. I've used that for the first time, and it proved to be very effective indeed, especially for tactical squads and ground infantry forces. So Devastators, if you're in trouble, if you survive from combat, you can say I can fall back, but to hit it's -2 because you're a heavy weapon and you apply that tactic, so you're on 5s to hit, but it's better than nothing. You can't shoot. Okay, White Scars. Whenever White Scars unit is within this tactic advances, it moves an extra 2 in addition to the distance rolled. Biker units of this turbo boost ability therefore move an additional 8 when advancing. In addition, White Scars units with this tactic can still charge even if they fell back. That's crazy. Imperial Fist Siege Masters. Enemy units do not receive the benefit of their saving throws for being in cover against attacks made by Imperial Fists models with this tactic. In addition, you can reroll any failed wound rolls for Imperial Fists units with this tactic when they are targeting a building. So that represents their siege specialist there. Okay, Black Templars. You can reroll failed charge rolls for Black Templars units with this tactic. Salamanders. A lot of people complain about this, but this is very powerful. Don't underestimate this. You can reroll single fail to hit roll and a single fail to wound roll made for Salamanders with the unit of this tactic each time it shoots or fights. So, for example, you have a tactical squad. You have a las cannon. Okay, you can choose to reroll to hit with the las cannon and to wound with the las cannon. Nasty. No complaints. Brilliant chapter tactic. Raven Guard, Shadow Masters. Your opponent must subtract 1 from any hit rolls when shooting at Raven Guard units when this tactic if they are more than 12 away. Very powerful ability. Iron Hands, the flesh is weak. Roll a dice. Each time an Iron Hands model, this tactic loses a wound. Roll over 6, the damage is ignored, and the model does not lose a wound. Okay, stratagems. These are absolutely key, in my opinion. Very, very powerful abilities. Do we have time? Yeah, let's go for it. Relics of the chapter. So 1 to 3 command points. Okay. Use this stratagem before the battle. Your army can have 1 extra chapter relic for 1 CP, or 2 extra chapter relics for 3 CPs. All the chapter relics that you include must be different and be given to different Space Marine characters. Nice. So you don't have to spend points now for relics like in the old editions. Previous editions, good, but for the sacrifice of command points. Line Breaker Bombardment. Okay, use the stratagem shooting phase. If a Vindicators are in 6 of 2, it's only 1 command point, this is ridiculous, or 2 other friendly chapter Vindicators. If you do so, the Vindicators cannot fire their Demolisher cannons this phase. Instead, select a visible point on the battlefield within 24 of 3 vehicles. Roll a dice for each unit, friend or foe, within 3 of that point. Add 1 to the result if the unit is being rolled as 10 or more models, but subtract 1 if the model is being for character. On a 4+, that unit suffers 3d3 mortal wounds. Straight away, don't have to roll dice, it's just, you just roll those dice there. So instead of the regular profile for Vindicators, that is nasty. Kill shot. This applies to Predators. Use this stratagem if you're shooting phase if a Predator is in 6 of 2 other friendly Predators. If you do so, you can add 1 to wound rolls, which is key. So las cannons average from 3s to wound, now it's to 2s to wound rolls the damage for all Predators makes the attack monsters and vehicles. And wounds and damage. Horrific. Chapter Master. Basically, they got rid of the rules for Chapter Master in the profile, but you spend 3 command points and you give them the upgrade for Chapter Master. So, rerolls to hit basically within 6 instead of 1. This tactic applies to Ultramarines. Scions of Gilliman. Use this stratagem when the Ultramarines infantry or Ultramarines biker unit is selected to attack if a shooting or fight phase. You can reroll all hit rolls of 1 for that unit for the rest of the phase. If the unit is a tactical squad or intercessor squad, reroll all failed to hit rolls instead. That is incredibly powerful. Only 1 command point. It's good. Orbital Bombardment. It costs 3 command points. This stratagem can be used once per battle with the shooting phase. If you have an Adapters Astartes Warlord that does not move during your movement phase, instead of shooting with your warlords and weapons, select a visible point of the battlefield and roll a d6 for every unit within 6 of that point. Subtract 1 from the result of the unit being rolled for that is a character. On a 4+, the unit being rolled suffers d3 mortal wounds. Whew, crazy. 1 command point, Cluster Mines. Use this stratagem when Scout Bike Squad falls back. Select 1 enemy unit that is within 1 of that unit before it moves and roll a d6. On a 2+, the enemy suffers d3 mortal wounds. It's incredibly powerful stratagems here. Born on the Saddle, this applies to White Scars. Use this stratagem when White Scars biker unit advances that can still shoot and charge. Very powerful at 1 command point. It's a very powerful ability. Masterful Marksmanship. So this is a Space Marine stratagem. Use this stratagem when a Stern Guard veteran squad is selected to attack in the shooting phase. You can add 1 to all wound rolls made for the unit's special issue bolt gun attacks in that phase. 1 command point, that's good. Abhor the Witch. Use this stratagem when an enemy Psyker manifests a psychic power within 24 of all friendly Black Templars. So this applies to Black Templars. Roll a d6 on a 4+, the psychic power is resisted by the sheer willpower of your unit and its effects are negated. Empiric Channeling. Space Marine stratagem. Use this stratagem at the start of your psychic phase if an Adeptus Astartes Psyker within 6 of at least 2 other friendly chapter Psykers. The Psyker can immediately attempt to manifest 1 additional psychic power this turn, and when attempting to manifest this power, you can add 2 to the psychic power tests. Nice. Data link. Telemetry. Use this stratagem in the shooting phase just before a whirlwind shoots. If the target is of the whirlwind, shooting attacks the visible to a friendly chapter land speeder unit that is within 12 of that target unit, the whirlwind's attacks automatically hit. Very powerful, very good abilities here. Hellfire shells. Use this stratagem before Adeptus Astartes infantry model makes an attack with a heavy bolter. You can only make a single hit roll with this weapon phase. However, it hits with the target and suffers a D3 mortal wounds. Brutal. Bolter drill. This is for Imperial Fists. 1 command point. Use this stratagem before the Imperial Fists infantry unit attacks the shooting phase. Each time you make a hit roll of 6+ for a model with firing a bolt weapon, that model can immediately make another hit roll using the same weapon at the same target. Bonus attacks cannot themselves generate any further attacks. For the purposes of the stratagem, a bolt weapon is any weapon profile whose use of the name includes the word bolt. Example: bolt gun, bolt rifle, heavy bolter, bolt storm, gauntlet. Pedro Cantor's Dawn's arrow is also a bolt weapon. Iron Hand stratagem. 1 command point. Use this stratagem before an Iron Hand's vehicle attacks in the shooting phase. Until the end of the phase, the vehicle can ignore the penalties for moving and firing heavy weapon. For the advancing and firing assault weapon. Flamecraft. This is for salamanders. Use this stratagem just before the salamander's unit attacks the shooting phase. Add 1 to the wound rolls made for all of its units' flame weapons. Good. For the purposes of this stratagem, a flame weapon is any other weapon. Okay, so it gives you an example of flamers, that kind of thing. It's good abilities. For 1 command point, it's good. This is for Raven Guard. Strike from the shadows. Use this stratagem when you can set up a Raven Guard infantry unit during deployment. You can set up the unit in the shadows instead of placing it on the battlefield. At the beginning of the first battle round before the first turn unit begins, the unit emerges from their hiding place. Set them up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 away from any enemy models. Oh, there's a lot here. There is a lot. Now this stratagem I really like. Auspex scan. This is really fluffy. Use this stratagem immediately after your opponent has set up his units that is arriving from the battlefield as reinforcements within 12 of your Adeptus Astartes infantry units. Your unit can immediately shoot at an enemy unit as if it was a shooting phase, but you must subtract 1 from the result hit rolls. Very powerful stratagem that is for 2 command points. It's very good. So the enemy comes down, you can ambush. It's absolutely fantastic. Tactical flexibility. Basically you can split your combat squad into 2 separate units during battle. During the battle. So even if they're deployed, you can say split them up into 2 squads of 5. Flak missile. This is where the flak missile comes in that I mentioned earlier. Use this stratagem when the Adeptus Astartes vehicle suffers a mortal wound. Roll a d6 for that mortal wound and each other mortal wound inflicted on this model for the rest of the phase. On a 5+, that mortal wound is ignored and has no effect. Oh, big pardon, start again. Okay, flak missile. You can use this stratagem just before a friendly Adeptus Astartes infantry model attacks that can fly with a missile launcher. You may only make a single hit roll with this weapon with this phase. However, add 1 to hit roll, and if it hits, that target suffers D3 mortal wounds. So if you have a flyer that's on like last wounds, this is a perfect stratagem to use. Brilliant. You feel like a commander using these stratagems. Very impressive. Armour of Contempt. This is Space Marine stratagem. Use this stratagem when the Adeptus Astartes vehicle suffers a mortal wound. Roll a d6 for the mortal wound and each other mortal wound inflicted on this model. For the rest of the phase, on a 5+, that mortal wound is ignored and has no effect. Okay, 2 command points. Only in death does duty end. Use this stratagem when the Adeptus Astartes character is slain. That model summons the strength on one final attack and can immediately either shoot as if it were the shooting phase or fight as if it was the fight phase. This stratagem is not cumulative with the Astartes banner ability. The stratagem takes precedence. Okay. Honor the chapter. Space Marine stratagem. Use this stratagem at the end of the fight phase. Select an Adeptus Astartes infantry biker. That unit can immediately fight for the second time as 3 command points, but it is a very powerful ability. That's a game changer. That one. Honor the chapter. Wisdom of the Ancients. Use this stratagem at the start of any phase. Select a friendly Adeptus Astartes chapter Dreadnought. Until the end of your phase you can reroll all hits of 1 for the chapter units within 6 of that Dreadnought. Oh, that's good. So anyone within 6 of that Dreadnought gets rerolled 1s to hit. 1 command point. Death to the traitors. Now they've actually done a counter measure against heretics. At long last. 1 command point. Space Marine stratagem. Use this stratagem when Adeptus Astartes unit is chosen to attack the fights phase. Each time you roll a hit of a 6+ for the model that is in the unit during this phase, it can, if it was targeting a heretic Astartes unit, immediately make an extra attack against the same unit using the same weapon. These extra attacks cannot themselves generate any further attacks. That's a very, very, very good card to play. Thermal shells. This is for the Thunderfire cannon. Space Marine stratagem, 1 command point. Use this stratagem when the Thunderfire cannon is selected to attack in the shooting phase. Subtract 1 from all wound rolls made from this firing for the Thunderfire cannon this phase. But if the target is hit, then during the next turn halve its movement characteristic and the result of any advance and charge rolls made for it. Thermal shells have no effect on Titanic units and units that can fly. Oh, that's good. A lot of stratagems there, but make the most of them. Very, very, very important abilities. Okay, Warlord traits. Okay. First one, you can roll a dice, randomize, or you can just choose. Great thing about Warlord traits now. These are Space Marine Warlord traits. Angels of Death. Subtract 1 from leadership and characteristic enemy unit that has been 6 of your Warlord. Okay, may not be the best, but it's okay. The Imperium Sword. Reroll failed charge rolls for your Warlord. In addition, if your Warlord charges in the charge phase, add 1 to its attacks characteristic until the end of the fight phase. It's not bad. Iron Resolve. Add 1 to wounds characteristic to your Warlord. In addition, roll a dice. Each time your Warlord loses a wound. Roll a 6+, your Warlord shrugs off the damage and does not lose the wound. Bit like Tenacious Survivor, but better. Storm of Fire. This is a good one. Each time you roll a wound of a 6 or more, for friendly phase, the armor penetration characteristic of that attack is increased by 1. So each time, friendly chapter. That's horrific. So you could have a melter gun at AP -5. Oh, that is brutal. That is a very good Warlord trait. Storm of Fire. Okay, Rites of War. Friendly chapter units within 6 of your Warlord automatically pass morale tests. That's good. Champion of Humanity. You can add 1 to all hit and to wound rolls made for this Warlord in the fight phase when targeting enemy character. Chapter Warlord traits. This is where it gets a little bit fun. Named characters and Warlord traits, etc. This is a unique Warlord trait for Ultramarines. This is one of my favourites. Whilst your Warlord is alive, roll a dice each time you spend a command point to use a stratagem. On a 5+, the command point is immediately refunded. So for example, I spend 3 command points on Honor the Chapter. After I've spent my 3 command points, I roll 3 dice. On a 5+, I regain those command points. It's an incredibly powerful ability. It's absolutely superb. Very, very, very powerful. Probably the most powerful warlord trait for the Ultramarines. Deadly Hunter. This is for the White Scars. Roll a dice each time your warlord finishes a charge removing one of an enemy unit. On a 4+, that unit suffers a mortal wound. Pretty good. Imperial Fists. Friendly Imperial Fists units within 6 of your warlord that are receiving the benefit of cover add an additional 1 to their saving throws against attacks with an AP characteristic of -1. It's pretty powerful. Crimson Fists. If there are at least 10 enemy models within 6 of your warlord when he fights in the fight phase, add D3 to his attacks until the end of the phase. That's a very powerful ability as well for your warlord. Oath Keeper. This is for the Black Templars. Your warlord can perform a heroic intervention if an enemy model is within 6 rather than 3, and can add up to 6 in doing so. Cool. Salamanders. Add 1 to the strength characteristic of your warlord. Raven Guard. Enemy units cannot fire Overwatch at your warlord. Iron Hands. Each time you roll a hit of a 6, your warlord make an extra attack at the same target using the same weapon. These bonuses attacks cannot themselves generate any further attacks. Okay, so what we've got here is we've got Chapter Relics. So, Chapter Relic. First off, you spend 3 command points, or 1 command point, to gain access to a Chapter Relic. Don't have to spend any points. These are what you get. Teeth of Terror. Models with chainsword only. Teeth of Terror replaces the bearer's chainsword and has the following profile. So remember, it's a chainsword. Teeth of Terror. Range, melee, melee, melee. Strength +1, AP -2, 2 damage. Abilities. Each time the bearer fights, it can make D3 additional attacks with this weapon. So instead of 1, it makes D3. Bit like the Space Marine game, I reckon, with Captain Titus. Awesome. Primarch's Wrath. Models with a bolt gun or mastercrafted bolt gun only. The Primarch's Wrath replaces the bearer's bolt gun with a master-crafted bolt gun and his following profile. Okay, Primarch's Wrath is range 24, rapid fire 2, strength 5, AP -1, 2 damage. Okay. The Burning Blade. Models with a power sword or master-crafted power sword only. The Burning Blade replaces the bearer's power sword or master-crafted power sword. That's the following profile. Burning Blade. Strength +2, AP -5, 1 damage. It's only 1 damage though. Great AP, but only 1 damage. Tomb of Malcador. Psyker. In case you don't know who Malcador is one of the main psychers of the Horus Heresy, the Emperor's friend, who sacrificed his life for the Emperor. Psyker. Only the bearer of the Tome of the Malcador knows 1 additional psychic power from the Librarius discipline. Fair enough. The Salamander's Mantle. Salamanders only. This is for the unique chapters now. The wearer of the Salamander's Mantle increases their toughness characteristic by 1. Axe of Medusa. Model with power axe only. The Axe of Medusa replaces the bearer's power axe with the following profile. Strength +2, AP -3, 2 damage. Okay, it's for Raven Guard. It's what's known as the Raven's Fury. Raven Guard Jump Pack. Model only. The bearer of the Raven's Fury can advance and charge in the same turn. Furthermore, the bearer can reroll failed charge rolls. Mantle of Stormseer. This looks like White Scars. Psyker. The wearer of the Mantle of the Stormseer adds 1 to their psychic test when attempting to manifest a smite power. Oh, that's pretty good. Smite is a very nasty power, and that there just proves it. The Fist of Vengeance. This is for Crimson Fists. Model that has a Power Fist. The model of the Fist of Vengeance replaced the bearer's Power Fist and has the following profile: Strength ×2, AP -3, flat 3 damage. Next is the Sanctic Halo, Ultramarines Captain only. The bearer of this Sanctic Halo has a 3+ invulnerable save and the attempt to deny psychic power in each enemy psychic phase in the same manner as a Psyker. That's cool. Pretty cool ability that is. The Crusader's Helm. So basically that's kind of fluffy to Captain Titus in the Ultramarine Space Marine game. That kind of represents that. The Crusader's Helm. Black Templars models only. The wearer of the Crusader's Helm increases the range of any Aurora abilities on the datasheet, such as Rites of Battle and Lights of Battle by 3. So instead of 6, it becomes 9. Okay. The Spartanian. This is for Imperial Fists. Model with a bolt pistol only. The Spartanian replaces the bearer's bolt pistol and has the following profile. It has range 12, pistol 2, strength 4, AP -4, so AP -1, 2 damage. Okay, that's the chapter relics. Now we move forward to Librarius Discipline. Veil of Time. Veil of Time is walk charge at 6. If manifested, pick an Adeptus Astartes unit within 18. Until the start of your next psychic phase, you can re-roll charge rolls and advance rolls for that unit that they always fight first. So it's a bit like the Counter-Strike type thing. That's a very powerful ability. Veil of Time. Might of the Herodes, I think. Yeah, Might of the Herodes. Might of the That's an O. Sorry, I thought there was a D. Might of Heroes. Might of Heroes has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select an Adeptus Astartes model in 12. Until the start of your next psychic phase, add 1 to the model's strength, toughness, and attacks characteristic. Psychic Scourge. Psychic Scourge has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select a visible enemy within 18, then roll d6 and add 1 to the Psyker's leadership to the result. Your opponent then rolls d6 and adds the leadership to their unit to the result if the Psychic's total score is greater than the enemy's. The enemy's unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. If it is equal to the enemy's score, the enemy suffers 1 mortal wound. And if it's less score, nothing happens. So therefore you can cast Smite, and then you can cast that power as well. Psychic Scourge. Oh, pretty brutal. Okay, Fury of the Ancients. Fury of the Ancients has warp charge value 7. If manifested, roll the Psyker. If no enemy models are within less range, if this power has no effect, draw an imaginary line of sight, a straight line between the Psyker and that model. Each enemy unit that is in line possessed overthrow suffers mortal wound. That's pretty powerful ability, that is. So just basically a focus beam, and it decimates enemy units. Nasty. Psychic Fortress. Warp charge value of 5. If manifested, select a friendly Adeptus Astartes unit within 18 until the start of your next psychic phase. That unit automatically passes mirror tests, and if you can roll a d6 each time it suffers a mortal wound on a roll of 4+, the wound is ignored. Whoa, Psychic Fortress. 6th one, Null Zone. Null Zone has warp charge value of 8. If manifested, then until the start of your next psychic phase, while there are within 6 of the Psyker, enemy models that cannot take invulnerable saves and must halve the result of any psychic tests that they take. Again, it's very, very powerful psychic powers there for the Adeptus Astartes. And these are all different types of tactical objectives. It looks like here. Yep, lightning strike. These are unique ones that they have for the Adeptus Astartes. More showcase pictures. Points cost. The vehicle's very nice. It's HQ, troops, elites, fast attack, flyers, heavy support, dedicated transports, named characters, ranged weapons. See all the names there. Ranged weapons, other war gear, melee weapons, and a quote from the Raven Guard. And that is the end of your Space Marine 8th Edition Codex. Whoa! Now, that was a long review. I hate to think how long that was, but I basically tried to condense it down into one video. Just want to say thank you very much to those who have taken the time to watch this entire video. I have to say it is a very impressive, in-depth book, Codex. It's got a lot of information, a lot of tactics, and a lot of things to remember. But it's quite easy to play with the new rules, how the flow of the game works. So even though it's got a big codex, the flow of the game of how 8th edition works is very good. I've noticed that games have been very quick. This codex, I have to say, is my favourite codex of all time. No matter if I compared it to other editions, this codex is absolutely fantastic. Okay, there's a few units missing, but it's not really major for me as I collect the Ultramarines. Yeah, absolutely very, very pleased. The production, the rules, the fluff, the lore, the layout, everything in it, I'm very happy with. I think Games Workshop have done a fantastic job. 10 out of 10 for effort. I'm not being biased or anything like that, that is just my honest opinion. I was mind blown by this codex. It's absolutely fantastic to play, and I can't wait for future codexes. This channel is mainly going to be focusing on the factions I collect, so Adeptus Astartes, Astra Militarum, Death Watch, Imperial Knights. Those are the kind of codex reviews I would do, whereas Luke, he would try to do all the codexes because he likes doing that for his channel. Just wanted to say thank you very much for watching. All those who have subscribed, we're almost on 1,000 subscribers, so thank you to all those who have subscribed. And if this is your first time that you've watched this video, remember, if you like this video, hit that like button and you can subscribe to the channel. It would be a great help. And the reason why I did this codex review is because I will be doing, hopefully, battle reports with 8th edition Space Marine Codex. This is what I want to do, and it looks like this first faction that will be featured with a battle report will be my Ultramarines, which is the first army I collected. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good day, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.